Urigastigato Eiga Drivecast episode 116.
Yeah.
So what I got from that intro was you're Japanese, but you're Spanish too, because you said L. I heard L in there, so
we multilinguistic, nigga. We multilinguistic.
I speak all the languages at the same time.
Welcome to Drivecast episode 100 and something. I actually don't know what this is off the top of my head, to be honest. There's been so many of these, I lose count. We're not here with the Chink again. He's depressed again, so he's just not here. Here with Jay. He's not got his webcam on, which is good.
It's not going on now. You're not even getting the privilege.
We're here with CJ, who has got his webcam on, but he's playing City Skylines, so he's not really interested.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to get the Porsche on Forza-thon.
So he's playing Forza instead.
Oh yeah! Well, I was.
I do.
Are we already? I'm like, no.
Jay, please, Jay, please, can you turn your webcam on?
Oh, you just told me it's good that I didn't have it on though. Should I give you that privilege?
That was a joke.
Should I give you the privilege?
All the niggas on SoundCloud.
He was just joshing you.
I want to shout out everyone who's still listening on SoundCloud. That service may or may not end soon because I don't even use it anymore. But shout out to you guys, you real boys. Right, we want to talk about a few things. Jay wants to talk about Destiny.
He wants to talk about
Destiny. So let's talk about Destiny.
It's like I'm some fucking spokesman.
And now on to Jay with.
And now we have Activision. Now we have Bungie's community manager, JV1.
Oh shit! I really look like I've just woken up. Oh my goodness! Like,
have you actually just woken up?
About an hour ago now.
I thought you weren't here.
So no, it's more of an awakening. Okay, this is more of a trying to make people understand, because it was very harsh, and it's like okay, where do I start? So I watched this 45-minute review of Destiny as a whole, from start to its last DLC pack. Now everyone and their mother knows that Destiny had a very rough rough launch. It was not what they said it would be. There were a lot of things cut back, and the biggest issue, in my opinion at least, was the story. Like, that was the biggest fault of them. Now the multiplayer was shit as well at launch, and there just wasn't enough content in there for them to be pushing like a game out. Now I feel like the main reason why the game had such backlash, alongside the fact that they did fuck up on so many things they promised, is because its previous installment was Halo, and I'm pretty sure everyone here can agree that Halo is probably one of the biggest franchises in gaming. So to follow that up is going to be exceptionally hard, but unfortunately they didn't even half follow it up. They just flopped with it. Now I bought Destiny on launch and I enjoyed it.
As did I.
I enjoyed it.
I just got it about a month ago, and I enjoy it.
So on PS3, you got it on PS3.
Let's not.
You don't apply.
Please.
You don't apply.
You don't apply to this conversation.
But I played it.
I played it and got bored of it very quick. I completed it in like a week, and I was like, "What is this?" And you get some shit yellow gun, and you see some character that you never see again ever.
When I found out that the story mode doesn't end, I didn't bother. I just played a bit of PvP and stopped.
It's just like. So you didn't even complete it as a whole, so you didn't.
No, I just played PvP instead. When I found out that it was just the same mission structure and over again, and there's no ending to the story, I was like, what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm a bit different to that, but so I played that, and then the first DLC pack came out. I think it was the Dark Below. I think it was the Dark Below.
Pretty sure first expansion, I'm pretty sure it's not Taken King. That's the last one.
I think the first one was the Dark
Below, yeah.
I played that, and that was cool. Okay, because before I stopped playing it for a bit, and then I started playing it again, and then I stopped playing it, and it was like an on and off thing for a while, and then I completely stopped after the third DLC, which was with the House of Wolves. I just stopped. I didn't play that much. I didn't play that at all, I don't think.
Wasn't it the Taken King?
No, the House of Wolves was the third one, I believe.
No, it's the second. It says on the back here.
Yeah, I'm a bit. I don't even know what order they came out in.
What order is it in, CJ? Just list them off.
Destiny expansion. First one's Dark Below. Second one's House of Wolves. Third one's Taken King.
And then the last. No, where's the Iron?
Oh, then this one only came. This is the Taken King one.
Which is where the okay. So the last DLC that came out is honestly, like it's very, very good. Like it's exactly what they seemed like they wanted the game to be like in terms of story and development, and they changed so many different things in the game throughout its life cycle that I would not say it's the same game right now. Currently, that game is not the way it was before. Now, I think for a lot of people it's a bit too late for that, and with the next Destiny coming out, a lot of people feel like it's not enough of a step forward for them to even consider another game.
I'm one of those people.
But in my honest opinion, Destiny's gameplay there was no fault with it. Like the actual feel of the game, the way the game played, the way the game was structured initially, I personally don't feel like there's anything wrong with it. So I don't feel like they needed to change the game's physics much. I feel like the issues was PvP, the story mode, and the just whole the game's flow was wrong. It was completely wrong.
I would like to air some of my issues with Destiny, because I believe there was a lot wrong with the gameplay. For one thing, the mission structure was just the same over and over. It was go here, kill people, defeat a boss, leave, and do the same thing on the next one. It definitely, but you could tell Bungie made it, and in terms of like shooting and stuff and then running around, it didn't feel bad. It did feel a bit floaty, but it wasn't bad. It didn't feel like, it wasn't like
a bit floaty, bro. It's like
Halo didn't feel floaty.
Like, it's a different type of, it's a different game.
It's still sci-fi. It's still under the same like genre. It's still like
that's what this is what I need to like, because I feel like the gameplay is, that's what brings me back. They're just the whole having my warlock and being so powerful and being able to fucking fly and throw a fucking bomb and shit, and it's so satisfying to play it. Like,
and then like PvP is near on unplayable. Like, if you missed out on 2 DLCs, you can't go into PvP and play, because you're just gonna get fucked up. You're just gonna get fucked up. I got to a decent enough level, and I went back in PvP, and it wasn't just because I wasn't playing well, because I know it for a fact it wasn't. I was going up against people. I was going up against people who had much higher weapons than me, and I could literally do fuck all. It was like, what's the fuck? It's like when I go into COD. So when I go back into Black Ops 2, I haven't played that shit out in like 2 years, but I can still fuck someone up with a Scorpion that in the default class.
It's completely reliant on your gear.
Wait, what did
that's completely unfair.
What did the expansions add in terms of like PvP that made people like better than you? Like, what did it do?
It was gear and stuff. So your gear basically brings up your light level, which is basically your armor and your defense, and how powerful you are. So if your light level was say 200 and the other person's was 400, you're not going to have. You're not gonna do. You can't do anything. It's impossible.
It's like me going into you on COD and me being on 400 health and you being on 100. It's like no problem. And then for me, the PvE, I played solo. I bought it on PS4, and to do the same missions and to do these raids over and over again, it's the same thing. And I was playing by myself.
You did a raid. You've done a raid before.
I do remember doing a raid. Yes, I remember doing it with a guy called Daz that I used to play with back in the day, and I just remember like it was the same shit over and over again, and I just got bored because it was repetitive.
See, I guess.
And the reason why I bought Destiny was because of Bungie and because of Halo, and I had 100% faith in that game. It was going to be amazing because I loved Halo, and the thing that brought me back to Halo wasn't the co-op. Yeah, okay, it was the story, but in hindsight, the thing that kept me in the long run was the multiplayer, and the multiplayer in Destiny for me was extremely subpar.
Yeah, and this is where I come to this whole conclusion about it after thinking about it, watching, playing myself. Because I feel like it's just a guy put it perfectly in a video that I watched, and he said it was a brilliant mess of a game. And the reason why I agree with that is because there are 2 types of people in gaming. There are people that are very hard on PvP, and that's what they go to gaming for, especially in this generation. And now a lot of people just play online. They don't play solo, so they don't need to worry about story modes. But for me, the whole experience where, like I was saying, the satisfaction of playing with your character and being so powerful and stuff, looking past all its mistakes and the game's issues. I feel like if the game released properly and the way
Today.
it should have, because it had a lot of issues with development and
I don't
people
even think
leaving,
it's
and
that.
well, how do you know?
No, as in, I don't think it's just the two types of people, PvP and then everyone else, because
Well, yeah, but I do, because you haven't you haven't played the game recently, so how can you even judge it?
I mean, well, I'm judging it
All
from
you
when I
know,
last
all
played
you
it,
know
which
of
was,
Destiny,
like,
all you know of Destiny is its disgusting side.
DLC
How many
2.
games have had? Yeah, that was years ago. How many games have had issues and had to be
But
fixed?
if I went on
Look
now,
at them.
surely I wouldn't feel the improvements that because I haven't got the DLC.
You would, because no,
think-
you haven't got the DLC, and that's another issue. The DLC was a mess. There was too much of it. But in its defense, I feel like the reason why there was so much DLC is because there were so many issues that they had to fix. They were still developing that game throughout its life cycle. There's no way they were just sitting back and just making DLCs and sitting back. They had to fix it, because
And even if I did go on now, I'd get fucked up anyway because I'm too low of a level.
you wouldn't because you
Wouldn't-
get given a thing that boosts you up to like level 40, and then you can boost yourself up to like level 400.
Wasn't that max level at launch? I want to say.
A max level at launch
Or was it, no, it was some type of big level like at launch. Oh, okay. Because I don't know. I feel like even if I went on now, like you can get higher to level 40, can't you? You can get like 100 now, can't you? No.
Nope.
It's what?
It's
So it just boosts you to max level.
there's two things. There's your normal level, which is 1 to 40, and then there's light level, which is 1 to 400. Now, light level is dependent on your armor. So whatever armor you pick up has a number next to it, and it boosts your overall light level. And the normal level is basically what you just level up over time. So it gives you, when you go into the game, well, he got a thing that basically boosted one of his characters up to level 40. Now that may seem like, well, but what's the point? But it's very hard to get to, like, I think that puts you initially at like light level 300 and something. Now to get to level 300 to level 400 takes finding gear, so it requires you to play through the stories and all the DLCs. Now if you now went onto that game and played through every single DLC pack, wouldn't happen because you wouldn't buy the DLC. There's too much of it. It's a bit ridiculous. Understandable.
That's the problem.
But if you
right
played
there,
through,
though,
but like I said, to fix the game, they had to do that. And it's Activision. They can't just put out free DLC. Activision are not going to let them just put out
They did
free
with
DLC.
Blizzard.
Are they?
Yeah,
they did with
no.
Overwatch.
That's different because
So-
that's Blizzard. That's Blizzard. They're pretty much
Yeah.
on their own, pretty much.
Blizzard-
They're together,
Blizzard,
but
they're
it's
still
on
under
their own.
Activision, aren't they?
Yeah, but they call Blizzard calls the shots. Activision
What-
just
what I
it's
learned
like
about
it's like
Destiny-
how the only similar
Like
thing is
Rockstar.
that and Respawn Entertainment with EA.
Okay.
Respawn, they call the
What
shots.
I learned about Destiny as well is that Microsoft, who obviously published Halo, turned away at Destiny when they turned their nose to Bungie when they came with Destiny. They like literally said, "Well, we were not funding that," which is I don't understand. I
I don't
actually
understand because Bungie are like, granted, Destiny was a mess. They've still made some of the best video games of all time.
Well, they didn't know it was a mess then because they didn't even make it. When they came
no. I'm saying even though Destiny was a mess, that still doesn't change. But the fact that Bungie are one of the best gaming developers ever.
Exactly, and it just proves that. I feel like that's another factor as well. When you put the jigsaw together, so if they've gone to their publishers who basically helps them build probably one of the best games ever, and one of the biggest franchises that's made so much money for Microsoft, if they've turned away at you when you've come to them with another plot, like, okay, we want to venture out, we want to make something new, because the initial idea of Destiny I think it's amazing. The whole lore of it, the whole universe of it if it's done properly, which I'm hoping in the second one it will be. If that game is done properly, it will be. I'll put hours upon hours into it, because the whole grinding to get your character to the most powerful it can be. That whole concept of it, I'm falling for it. So I can't believe that Microsoft turned them down. When I heard that, I was like, well, why did they do that? That makes no sense. If they've been working with them from the very beginning, like, they made Halo on a PC at first, I believe, and then they went, and then and then Microsoft bought them or something like that, something on those lines. So if they had so much faith in them back then, when their game was basically, it was like their first proper initial title, why now?
They've always pushed them. Halo 2, I remember in weeks before release, a lot was cut out because of time constraints. And I'm a huge Halo fan. Self-admittedly, huge Halo fan, and I firmly believe Halo 1, 2, 3, Reach and ODST were the best. Like, that was like the golden age of Halo games. 4 was when it started going downhill. 5 was an improvement from 4, but it's nowhere near a Halo 3, a Halo Reach, a Halo 2. Halo 2, oh my god.
Because Bungie dropped off it?
Yes. 100%.
Yeah, isn't it maybe
343, and then fucking when they got given the Master Chief Collection, 343 fucked that up as well, and all they had to do was remaster 2 and then put everything else on Xbox One, but they fucked up. So I don't know what Microsoft are doing, but they fucked up with Halo.
They did fuck up.
And I don't know how you could go so downhill from being the top of, like, they were literally the top of shooters, and they've gone down to be going to the bottom. I don't. Do you
know what's crazy about it? I feel like someone on that Microsoft team feels a bit stupid at this point, because if they look at it in hindsight, right, Destiny was the highest selling. What is it? You know, when a game's new, when there's no other games. What's it called? Brand new IP. Yeah. So it was the highest selling brand new IP ever. It made the most sales ever. So
that's dumb as well. So oh
even
my god.
Even the game was trash at launch, fam. It still made so much money. Now, if Bungie worked with Microsoft from the start, had no issues, didn't lose any of their colleagues,
that was an exclusive to Xbox.
Think about it. Think about that. If nothing went awry, because I feel like because they went to Activision, that fucked everything up. It's like moving house. It fucks your life up. Moving house is a mess.
If they went to EA or like maybe Ubi as well, to be fair, because Activision are the worst of the worst. I reckon that would have been a lot better. If
look
EA
at
especially. Yeah.
Look at COD. They destroyed COD. So, but yeah, I just wanted to get out there. I'm not saying go out and buy Destiny 2. But I'm not done yet, because
I want to talk about Destiny 2, and the reason why I'm not buying it now, it's easy for you because you had the DLC. You were game sharing off someone who had the DLCs, so you didn't really invest any money to get the DLCs. It was just there for you. From someone in my perspective, like I'm not going share. Like I said, I've got the game on PS4. It's uninstalled at this point because I haven't played it in a year or two. When did 2013 it came out?
Yeah, 2014.
2014. It's I played about a year, probably about a year ago at this point.
It was 2013.
Wait, Destiny.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I dropped off a year ago on that game, and for someone
2014.
Oh, sorry.
For someone like me, I'm like I said, I don't game share with anyone. How much are these DLCs? Like 17 quid.
At the time, they were when they initially came out, but that's ridiculous. I'm pretty sure that like you could get the whole thing for like 30 quid now.
So let's have a look. Destiny DLC prices. I'm gonna have a look real quick. Right, but anyway, so I've bought the game. That's 40 quid. Let's say these DLC prices are like 12 quid each. How much is there for?
Yeah.
So what's for
which they all fall under.
So that's 48 quid. That's 48 pounds. So then okay, so that pretty much adds up to 100 quid.
Yeah.
And there's no reason for me to spend the extra money when the base game doesn't sell it. If the base game sold it for me, and you got to keep in mind, I was 100% on board with Destiny because of Bungie's track record, and that was so bad. The Destiny was so bad at launch. I can't buy the next one. And another thing with the next one, okay, yes, it may have changed a lot through DLC. Yes, it may feel like another game. To me, it just seems like a reskin. It doesn't seem like they've added a lot. It doesn't seem like the mission structure's changed. Yeah, they've definitely done well with the lore and the story and stuff, but that's not enough. That's not enough just to fix the story.
I feel like it's become a game that's only going to appeal to a select few people. Not a few, because a lot of people play it.
PvP hasn't changed, has it?
Yeah, it has.
It has.
But it's not like there's
not
no
like Halo
dedicated
PvP.
servers. There's no dedicated servers.
There's no dedicated servers.
Which is an issue.
In
They're trying to
2017.
They're trying to put a game. Right, here's my thing. They're trying to put basically they're putting it on PC in it. They're like, oh, Blizzard, yay!
Isn't the PC
But
coming out like
they put it on
after
PC with no
consoles?
dedicated servers. What
And also, it's
fucking
coming.
PC player
Also,
is going to play. a
also
game
it's
with
coming
no
out
dedicated
after
servers.
the console versions. So
So it's not launching at the same time.
no,
Oh, fuck PC. I don't know. I don't even know.
I'm getting on Xbox regardless because that's what Jay's getting it on. So you know.
Fam, if you're getting it, I'm getting it because I'm game trying for you, fam. So that's sorted. But
I feel like
I'm playing it much.
for me personally, I feel like I know you're very against it, but I feel like another reason why I'm so with it is because again it's Bungie. They redefined first person shooters as a whole. They made COD what it is. They made Battlefield what it is. They just did. They changed that shit. Doom was probably the first to bring it and to everyone. Doom was probably the OG in it.
Quake as well.
And that.
Quake, yeah.
But Bungie, when they bought that onto console, there was no other game on console that could shoot like that. None.
SOCOM was the
or help-
PlayStation exclusive, that equivalent. And then Battlefield and COD obviously would always been there. But,
Yeah,
but Halo was the popular one.
I guess it's kind of just okay, I'll give you a second chance thing. If Destiny 2 is trash, which it won't be for me because I enjoy the game now. I just enjoy the whole. I like the grind. I like the playing with your friends for hours on a raid. I just enjoy it. It's a satisfying thing for me. Which isn't everyone's cup of tea, I understand, but for me it's just a fun experience. I feel like I need to give it a chance.
I also would say Halo didn't bring anything new to the table. I also say that Halo didn't bring anything new to the table when it launched. It just did everything very well.
Yeah,
that's one thing. And just like GTA, GTA 3 didn't bring anything new to the table. There was games that was doing open world before GTA 3. GTA 3 just did it well.
Oh, well, yeah, they took
that's
it
the only
and
difference.
They made it better. It's like who was the first person to make a car? And the Mercedes made the car perfect for everyone, sort of thing. You know, it's like, I don't know. I just don't. It's Bungie, man.
Like I said, I get it's Bungie, and I'd argue I am like up there. Like I was there as like a hyper fan. Like I can't explain how many hours I've sunk into Halo. I guess because CJ's buying it, I'll game share it and I'll play it and I'll make judgments, but I'm not buying this with my own money. Especially, another thing which adds to it is how many games are coming out this November.
I do feel, okay, so I think we've come to a verdict. It's not that you're hating on it. It's not that you're twats going fuck yourself. It's just, you can't be bought over because of how disappointing you were with the last title, which is totally understandable. The DLC.
How a lot of people probably feel about Need for Speed.
Yeah, okay.
Probably a lot of people I don't get that though. That's a bit of a different level, and I could talk about that for ages. But yeah,
I very much hope and pray. Well, I don't pray. I don't give a fuck. I'm playing it still. I very much hope that when CJ does get it, and you are game sharing, and we're all in a strike, right? Battling the boss, you get me, bruv, on that thing. I very much hope that your mind's kind of warm to it. I hope you can be warm to it because I very much believe that.
I'll go in with an open mind, but I'm really not expecting much.
Yeah, no, I can't actually. If I play it a lot, and I ask you to play, and it's an active game I'm playing, I cannot see you saying no to it. I can't. Because now,
what you've got to keep in mind, November time comes around, let's say December time, The Crew 2, Need for Speed, COD World at War, what else? GT Sport as well.
I've just got a lot of games to play. That's not a problem.
Okay, let's say we're playing Destiny. Then we've got Rainbow Six DLC. Then we've got like that's 6 just on one hand.
I can balance my games, bro.
6 though.
That's not an issue to me.
And like 6, and you're making videos as well. 6, and you're pumping out videos like it's like you're giving birth, fam.
I like Destiny.
What other games? The Last of Us 2. That's 7 more. That's 7 games. What else? Listen to some games that are coming out
this year.
Yeah, it's going to come out 2018, March 2018 probably. But like, I'm just saying, like the E3 games are going to be like talked about. These are Red Dead Redemption. I know that's next year, but like that's 8 games. That's a lot of fucking games.
Also next year,
Far Cry. Sure. That's 9.
No, okay, no, there's a lot of games. I understand.
From November to March, there's 9 games coming out that I want. Like,
okay, so games like Far Cry and The Last of Us and games that are very heavily story based, and it's just I'll play those and probably never pick them up again. But
yeah, but you still, that's the thing, is you still gotta play them.
There's only a couple games in that pot that I feel like I'll go back to consistently. That's Need for Speed, COD, Forza Motorsport 7, and
you're gonna get Forza.
The Crew.
I'll guess you. Your screenshot.
Of course I'm gonna get Forza. What the fuck? No, I'll get it myself. What are you on about? It's Forza. So that's like GT to you. Does GT Sport look promising? No.
And Dirt as well. Yeah, Dirt 4, Danger Zone.
Gravel.
Danger Zone.
Danger Zone.
Shout out to Danger Zone.
You best believe that's going straight.
That comes out next week.
Next Wednesday, 30th, the 31st, something like that.
31st. That's a Wednesday.
Please tell me what it's like, 'cause I'm not buying it. Tell me what it's like, please.
It's only 10 quid.
It's 10 quid.
Yeah, it's like $10.
So it's not
even out on Xbox anyway, so you couldn't buy it if you really wanted to.
On PC. And
oh shit! Yeah, of course. It's not out on It's not out on Xbox on launch though.
Man's trying to come to me like I ain't got a PC.
But yeah, this is what I'm saying. Is like with all these games coming out, I don't think I need another shooter.
This is a good segue to talk about how what the fuck's going on with games nowadays. Like, it's like the world's coming to an end, but the games, they're coming hard and strong. Like
I said, we were making jokes about this. There's gonna be a nuke in it, but like, I'm gonna be here playing Need for Speed 2017 with my Rocket Bunny fucking 350Z.
I don't know. It feels like 2012 was a great year for games, but 2013 through 2015, games just sucked.
I disagree.
I'm not gonna lie.
2015, like 2015 was not a weak year because
2015 was Watch Dogs 2.
That was 2016.
That was 2016.
I feel like this year it stands out. It stands out.
Oh yeah, this year it really stands out.
Very much. There are so many. Look how many card games are coming out this year.
Thing is, I feel like look at 2014, and you had games like Titanfall, Watch Dogs, not Need for Speed. Like all those games. But then those sequels are coming out, and if this ties into Destiny 2 a bit. I'm just thinking, look at Titanfall. The reception for Titanfall, the first one was very meh, but you look at Titanfall 2.
I love the first Titanfall, and I can't get into the second one for some reason. It's really annoying.
Overall, the general reception of Titanfall was really meh. Same with Watch Dogs, which again I really liked Watch Dogs, but
because Watch Dogs was fucking lie, bro. Did you see that shit at E3?
I liked Watch Dogs. I really liked Watch Dogs.
But going by how those games were like meh at the start, but then their sequels like are really good. Like you can apply the same thing at Destiny. Destiny 1 was and then Destiny 2's if they're doing the same thing that Ubisoft and Respawn Entertainment did with Titanfall 1 and Watch Dogs 1, then Destiny 2 is gonna be great. Same with and this even ties into Need for Speed 2015 and The Crew 2.
That's my point. Like, why has everyone got such a cold shoulder to a first mistake on a game? It's just the magnitude of what it was. I feel like because
the next Need for Speed
successor.
If Ghost Games is looking at Watch Dogs 2, Titanfall 2, and all those, and how those games improved significantly over their original games, then Need for Speed 2017
someone's getting a bit excited.
Gotta follow that.
Someone's getting a bit excited.
Nah. Need for Speed 2017 is gonna be.
Yeah, and I have a great feeling that The Crew 2 is gonna be.
No, The Crew 2. I'm gonna put so many hours into The Crew.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm excited about?
I don't even know how many hours I put into the original Crew.
Do you know what I'm excited about and why I'm excited about The Crew? Because I was telling my friend that The Crew's 2's coming out, and he was like, "Oh, not giving a shit." I was like, "What?" He was like, "Oh, I'm not getting." I'm like.
Talk about games that changed over their life cycle. I'd argue The Crew's up there with one that is literally completely transformed.
That's what Destiny.
No, but literally a new graphics engine, fam. The Destiny ain't got a new graphics engine.
That needed that. Destiny's not an ugly game. That needed that. That was an ugly game.
With the Crew, like the thing is, The Crew's had a really weird lifespan. Like when it came out, it was pretty disappointing, and then when Wild Run came and fixed up a lot. Well, at first I enjoyed it, but then once I finished the story, it was just not really much to do.
So you don't think
that's true.
They pushed it? They pushed it at E3 about that year.
It was delayed.
Say that again.
It was delayed.
It was delayed till December.
But I think the thing that tarnished it was the fact we had so many betas leading up to it. I don't think it was the game being bad. I think it was the fact that it was literally a beta every month up until launch.
There was like 5 betas.
Yeah,
I very much hope they do not like the thing. Okay, I was gonna say this, but the reason why I'm so excited about the Crew 2 is because of the fact that I feel like I'm blind with it. I don't feel like I can expect anything. It's that the point. It's the same with the next Need for Speed. I don't know what to expect. That's what excites me about games. When I don't know what to expect, that kind of it feels like a new game. How long ago did the Crew come out?
2014.
December 3rd, 2014.
So it's another old. It's a big gap. So
yeah.
Oh,
With the thing is, with the track record with the Crew is the game was disappointing like at first. Then Wild Run came in, it made the game a lot better. Then Calling All Units came out and it made the game worse. So
Calling All Units came out and I was like, why?
No, it doesn't make much sense because like they're releasing a new game this year. So
I think they did that as Calling All Units was definitely just a holdover.
They should have just put a race editor in. That's all they really need.
I personally feel like they were trying to reignite the game again to run up to this announcement.
That would have like a race editor would have added more replayability.
Like before Need for Speed got revived, the Crew was what I was playing constantly. I'd argue I put around 1,000 hours into that game. Easily put 1,000 hours into that game. 2015 to leave its Need for Speed in 2014. Especially in the betas as well, I sunk days upon days upon days in that game. People don't realise it because I don't make that many of the Crew videos nowadays, but CJ can attest that I played that game hard. Like I had every car 1299. Not every, but like I'm telling you, this game is gonna be.
Whoa! The Crew is very similar. The Crew is an MMORPG, isn't it?
Technically, it's an MMO car PG.
So like Destiny, right? Cars have levels. You've got to grind to get that level up.
Yep.
It's not.
You got to repeat the same race
before the Wild Run.
It's really easy to do that with the Calling All Units because with Calling All Units, all the missions are can be done within 15 seconds.
Before the Wild Run, it wasn't like
whenever I get into a police car from like the police shop, I legit just take it on this one story mission that I can complete like each time in 15 seconds. It takes me like 30 minutes to max rank my car.
And that's the issue. Is I think after the Wild Run they ruined it because before you could just go to the skill challenges and then gold them and then go on with your life. But then after the Wild Run it was all weird and yet like it was random.
Smart loot,
it was random for some reason and they kind
what Smart Loot would do is it was weird. Like if you had the part but it wasn't for your car, you couldn't earn it through like the skills and stuff. You had to go buy it.
Yeah, it's very
weird. You got stickers and they fixed that. I'm pretty sure now, but. It was still very
the way
weird.
It worked originally was perfect. I don't know why they changed it, but essentially how it would work is if you go to a skill challenge, you gold it, you get the max part, or like so you go up and it's between 40 to 50, and it randomizes between 40 to 50. You do it a few times, you'll get max out your car. Basically.
Yeah, I played the Crew. I did play it on.
And I that isn't as much as a grind as people think it is. To be honest, that takes like.
I didn't mind this. I didn't.
And plus, with ever since I want to say Wild Run. The really it was really grindy before Wild Run, but after that it really wasn't. Like during when you had like a car that was shit and you couldn't go into PvP with, it took a while to make money. I'll admit. But once you got like all the perks and stuff and you grinded PvP, it was easy. And then with Calling All Units, with Calling All Units, you can do a race in like 15 seconds. You'll get like 10k.
This makes me want to play the Crew again.
I found the map distracting. The size of it.
See, I played it like Underground, and what I mean by that is it was just race to race to race to race. I didn't really explore the map too. I did explore the map, like every now and then when I'm bored, I'll just go around it. But I played it for the racing.
The thing is, the racing was too far, like in between in the Crew.
It wasn't done properly, in my opinion. Yeah, it's just there's too much emptiness in between things.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of the map was just left there. Like nothing is done with it. Like you know how especially with Wild Run. You know how they in the E3 trailer they showed it up being in that crater? It's never in that crater, at all. Any month, it's never there. And they even have the ring road in the crater, but nothing's ever there. All of the summits are usually held at the assault flats, and that's it. I never has it once been at the crater, at least that I can remember.
No, I'm still it was a bit of a wet towel for me that game. I enjoyed it for a bit. I did get into it a bit after the Wild Run, but I just didn't, because I had all the car games to play. I just didn't really play it much.
I'm gonna say something a bit controversial.
It's this.
Ooh,
It's
controversial opinion alert coming through.
It's the kind of the same way I feel about Destiny. It's like I feel like Ivory Tower are very honest developers, and they may have a dirty publisher, but every game they're all dirty, aren't they? Really, Microsoft, Ubisoft, they're all dirty. They're all like for your dollar.
I'd argue turn 10. Not turn 10. Take what's it called?
Take Two.
Take Two and EA are getting better. Well, Take Two's good anyway, but EA.
Oh no,
better.
Take Two. Oh, GTA. They're like higher. You don't even put them in the same bowl.
And EA is getting better. Anyway, they really, really are. But like,
you
anyway,
say that, and then the fucking bus out DLC packs and Need for Speed.
Need for Speed 2017 Time Savers pack. You just buy the game, buy it for $4 and you unlock the entire game.
I reckon there will be DLC for that game, purely based off the fact that people moaned that the last one didn't go for that long. No. Anyway, but what I was about to say, I think the crew, the original The Crew, I'm like, this is a half-hearted, the best racer of like this gen. I'd say this is the best racer of this gen.
This thing that's never come out of your mouth. You know what the best racer is out of this generation? Forza fucking Horizon 3. You can despise it all you want. You can say it's boring all you want, but that game's playing, that game, the way that game looks, the game is a package. Let's not talk about graphics. Let's not talk about graphics. Let's talk about the game, right? You're telling me that The Crew is better than Forza Horizon 3.
More modes.
You're on drugs.
More modes. More
on drugs.
More modes.
Let's not talk about modes when you've got shit fucking physics. The game looks like
the physics are much improved.
You're saying it's best gen. It didn't even look or play like a next gen game. It played like a fucking Xbox.
Let's not talk about graphics. Let's not talk about the way it looks. It didn't look like a next gen game. Come on, fam.
What are we defining as next gen?
Parts of it, like the game as a whole, was not on point.
Great.
It took a complete rehaul to even make it playable.
Is this like PS4, Xbox One, or like 2010-ish?
What do you mean? The graphics has nothing to do with how the game plays.
No, I'm talking about what generation.
The game's physics were weird. And
like if you're talking like anything if you're talking about anything off this generation of consoles, then yeah, The Crew. But if you're talking,
no, we're talking Xbox One, PS4.
I don't know.
Yeah, The Crew.
I don't know. Maybe this is like.
I mean, this isn't a funny farm. I'm actually being serious here. Like for me, when I go onto Horizon, I just feel it feels hollow.
There's so much more to do in The Crew. Drift mode, drag mode, all the different specs.
Even drift on the game.
Like it may be.
There's drift spec.
Like Horizon 3 may be betterly executed in the stuff it does, but
so it's a better game.
No, because there's nothing to do.
If you're telling me it's executed better on that game, it's a better game, right? No.
Oh, for God's sake! Someone has to walk in his room as soon as we're having this type of conversation. Oh, I'm gonna pick it. Can
you pitch to me why it's better than Forza Horizon 3? And then I'll bounce back. I just want to know.
There's more things to do for a start.
Okay.
So you've got. I'm including the Wild Run and stuff under this as well because that's my experience with the game, just as you would include Storm Island and the Hot Wheels expansion. So you got modes, a lot more modes. Drift mode, which has been missing from Forza for way too long. I don't know why they don't add that in. Drag mode, which is a very, very well produced drag mode, not like the Need for Speed one, which was a bit half-assed. And then obviously you've got the circuit modes, the break the crates. I'm not going to sit here and say it's the greatest thing ever. And then you've got the skill challenges, which are literally everywhere. And they, unlike Forza's skill challenges, they actually reward you with parts. It's not just there for no reason. And then in addition to that, you got PvP. I will say Forza's PvP is decent, but you get a much more of a bigger reward for PvP in The Crew because money's actually worth something in that game. I said the only real way where Forza has it trumped is definitely in the car selection, 100%. And I think physics is something which is more preferred at this point, purely based on the fact of how much they improve the physics. They improve the physics a lot. If you compare beta physics to what it is now, it's completely different.
Yeah, okay, so...
Customization is much better in The Crew.
here's okay.
You can't make you like
here's me.
Raid,
Here's me.
Streets, Perth.
Okay, here's me. Right.
It's true.
So, The Crew and Forza are two different games. I would put The Crew in the spectre of Blur, maybe Most Wanted 2012, Hot Pursuit, those type of games. They're very it's like if you put a 5-year-old on Forza Horizon 3 and then put them on The Crew, they'll probably prefer The Crew. It's a lot more.
I think so.
I feel like it's a lot more of a game that requires less skill. It requires if you went onto The Crew and drove, the physics are just.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Like I get like Forza,
right,
there
so
is some sort of
a
skill
car
gap
works like how a car should work. Sounds, looks, I'm not saying graphics are everything. I'm not, but I kind of contradicted myself. And honestly, graphics do play a factor in the games. It just does. If a game looks, you're looking at the screen. That's what you do. You can't. A blind person can't play a video game. So graphics do play some factor in a game's production. Yes.
Blind people can play video games.
When The Crew came out. A blind person can play video games.
Yeah, there's a thread about how There's a thread about how this blind person plays Prison Architect with sounds.
How? Okay, sounds. Okay.
And Metal Gear. He also plays Metal Gear.
Oh, cool. Whatever. That's a different, a different conversation. What was I saying? Yeah, the game. Okay, so The Crew to me. They spent how many years on the shit and it came out looking like a next-gen game. It took years for them to even put it on, for you to say that it's even on Forza's level. It took years for them to even do that. And I'm not saying they didn't rehaul the game and completely make it a playable, good-looking game. They did, and I
they only rehauled the physics. I mean the graphics, sorry. And that contradicts your point of the looks. And it also was a last-gen game. It was on 360 as well. So it's not just Forza, where Forza's only on Xbox One and PC. This launched on PC, Xbox One, PS4, and 360.
Alright then, I didn't know that. I thought it was a next-gen game. It's not a next-gen game.
Well, originally it launched on 360, but yeah, it's on both.
Okay. So... that... like I was saying about the physics of the game and the sounds of the cars, the fucking customization is like some. It was just like Matchbox. Like the parts were all like weird. The cars obviously didn't look well because of this. You couldn't stance them right. You couldn't lower them or fix the fitment of them, or the wheels were all one fucking size, and the paints were all like presets, and I don't know how you can say the customization is better than Forza's. Okay, Forza doesn't have fucking a bumper for every single car, that's different, but it has like over 500 cars.
A lot of the parts in The Crew were
do
licensed.
A lot for most cars. Okay, well, the shit licenses.
Wait, are they?
And then, this is just an opinion. I'm not
the
saying
the BRZ STI concept was in
the
there.
BRZ came out at the last the game's last breath.
No,
it's like
it came out in Wild Run.
It came out mid-season.
The Wild Run was the game's last breath. I'm sorry, it was.
Calling all units was the game's last breath.
Yeah, calling all units.
That game died, fam. They came out like the game was going to be some fucking insane Need for Speed killer, and it just wasn't. It was Ubisoft's fucking thing to try and lie in the E3 trailer, and it came out like it wasn't the game it was. It's the same as Destiny.
It was.
I played through the game.
What did they lie about?
I gave the game a chance.
They
lied about so many the way the game looks, the thing, the fucking.
So right,
cops,
so let's ignore graphics. What did they lie about? The cops were good. The cops were the best cops we've had in a racing game in the past 3 years.
I can't remember cops in that game.
Nah, they ruined the cops with calling all units.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that.
And even then, the AI was. The police AI was still pretty terrible.
And then this, I don't know. It's like the racing equivalent of Destiny, but you're like with it.
I don't know. It's not though. It's not though.
DLC. I don't know. I just feel
even if you just talk about the base game is still great, and the amount of free stuff they gave you with that, it's not like Destiny where everything was locked off. You can still play that game fully in all of its glory without paying for DLC.
I feel overall to say it's better than Forza. I don't get it. I just feel like Forza feels, plays, looks.
The progression was 100 million times better. It's like just everything. minus mate. I can understand where you're coming from with boaty physics. I completely get that, and I completely get with the looks. Those two things are the only things Forza have on it, and the car list. I think everything else is in the cruise camp.
Okay, so to not rival it against Horizon 3, because it's not the only racing game of this next gen. You said it's the best racing game of this generation of games. Racing games I've been out, all of them.
Not for long. Need for Speed 2017.
Need for Speed will beat it.
Unless the Crew 2 comes.
2015 did definitely not beat it. The physics were not as good as the Crew. The customization was good. The customization was good, but like the progression was nowhere near as good as the Crew. The like end game was nowhere near as good as the Crew. That's another thing the Crew's got over every other racing game. The end game content in that game over everything else is leaps and bounds.
I mean, the actual story itself after that. I mean, even then, like saying that it had the best, it still wasn't good enough. Like all it was just PvP.
PvP, and then they added in obviously calling all units and stuff afterwards.
Yeah,
it's not good enough. The Forza doesn't have an end game.
No.
I just feel like if that is the case, then that's kind of sad, because I don't feel like the Crew is anywhere near my favorite racing. Nowhere near.
It's nowhere near Underground 2.
Nowhere.
Most wanted.
It's not even in my top 10.
No.
So if that's kind of saying something, isn't it? But if you think about it, so that means racing games have kind of stumped a bit.
Mm-hmm.
But that's been their way for. I feel like we're on the Crew is much better than what we were getting 5 years prior. 5 years? Not 5 years. 5 years is a bit long. 3 years. But better. It's a better game than most wanted 2012 ever was.
Wait, no, 3 years ago we were playing the Crew beta. So.
But like,
I didn't even know there was a beta for that game.
There's like
5.
5 or 6.
Yeah.
One
like
each month.
PC,
it was
3 on
bi-monthly.
PC,
It was bi-monthly. So like every other month, leading up to launch, there was a beta, and I overplayed the shit out of that. I think that's the reason why I didn't enjoy it as much.
I only played 2, so I probably played it more.
So this is what I mean as well. Like, I'm very curious to see what they do in the next game. I'm calling boats, bro.
Mermaid boat DLC.
I am calling boats. I think there's gonna be boats on that game.
Mermaid boat DLC.
I'm calling TDU2 style of mad. I think they're gonna go back to their roots.
It won't be a TDU2, and if it is,
on that teaser picture they released, the Lambo doors are open, and it's next to a boat.
Hang on, they released a picture
at the start of the year. They released a picture saying we've got a lot to come this year, and it has a Lambo and a Ventador with their doors open, the scissor doors open, next to a boat with fireworks off in the background.
Right.
So I think they will, and I think they're going to do what they did. I think they're going to do what they did with TDU, where they keep the old map in, so you're going to be able to go to the US again. I think that's going to be a thing.
I can see that happening, like how TDU2 had like
so
Hawaii.
You think it's possible that it will trump Need for Speed?
It's possible. I've got a soft spot for Need for Speed, but it's possible. Like them two are going to be mad. I feel like this doesn't show good on camera, but I'm looking very forward for the Crew. Very forward to it.
The competition as well will also add to racing games as well. I feel.
Yeah, for sure.
It's always good to have competition. We see that before as well.
I do think Forza. I do think this is another thing with Horizon and the Crew. They are two very different racing games.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I wouldn't compare it to Most Wanted 2012 because they're not battle games. The Crew isn't a battle game, but it's raid, it's circuit, it's street, it's perf.
My issue with Forza right now is that
this is everything.
Like I say, it's probably one of the. I want to say Forza Horizon 3 is one of the best functioning racing games.
What's your favourite game of this gen then?
My favourite game of this generation,
as in racing game, or just the best? Not your favourite, because I think mine are tied between Need for Speed and the Crew. But your favourite, like, as
my
in,
favourite
like,
objectively, this gen. I liked Forza Horizon 2. I played a lot of that. I enjoyed it.
I played a lot of Horizon 2.
I wouldn't say it's the best, but I would say I put a lot of hours into it. I was able to play it for quite a long time before it died. Well, that's the issue with Forza Horizon 3. It's so similar that I don't play it as much because I played so much of 2. And then,
do you think that's going to happen with Need for Speed and the Crew?
No, because Need for Speed was so much of a Need for Speed was a foot in the door. Forza Horizon 3 wasn't. Forza Horizon 3, they're calm. They're sitting back. So this. Okay,
so you don't think the ghosts are going to sit?
Here's a visual interpretation. Here's a visual interpretation of of playground games and turn 10. They're like this. They made this game like this.
No,
Here's Ghost Games. Here's Ghost Games, right? They're leaning forward, fam. You know when you're playing a game and you're into the shit and you're like this. That's what they're into that shit. They have.
I think Ivory Tower and Ghost are both like in that same.
They've got
position.
something to prove. They've got something to prove. Forza hasn't because they've had no had no competition. I beg that after this, whatever Horizon 4 comes around, I hope the sales plummet. Yeah. And I hope they realise. I hope the Crew 2 and Need for Speed make Horizon sales plummet. I really, really do. See, I don't hope on failure because I don't think that's necessary. What I feel like is necessary is that they get pushed up against the wall.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I don't want the game to fail. I like Horizon.
I want Need for Speed sales on Xbox to beat Forza's. I want because I feel like it's sort of the same way as COD. It's kind of similar to COD and how COD needed to kind of kick up the arse. I feel like Forza needs to kick up the arse. Like I said, it's a
if they get outsold by the Crew and Project Cars and Need for Speed, if Project Cars outsells Forza Motorsport 7, they're fucked. Like they're gonna have to do something.
If that happens, I'll be so confused because
it sold a lot last time. It sold a lot last time round.
Well, I do know how. It was a new IP, but fucking hell, it was a disappointment of a game. And those scummy, they're not. It's not even the publishers, but the actual fucking developers are scum. Imagine that. I made this point the other day that it's usually the publishers that are the scum in the situation, but
everyone's just fucked up in that situation.
They're just slightly mad, they're just twats in my opinion. But
that's what I'm saying. No, I just hope that the sales plummet on Horizon, and they just realise that, oh shit, we fucked up, we wasted our time, we need to do something. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what anyone says. That's not 2 years development time. No fucking way.
It isn't. I know that. Okay, we don't personally like Forza Horizon 3 like that. I like it, but
no, don't get me wrong. I like it as well. I'm not one of those. I don't blindly hate on Horizon. That when I say things, I say objectively, and I say it to make the game better. Yeah. But they ain't listening. So what they need is they need their fucking wallets to get hurt, and then they need to realise.
They pretty much need a kick in the ass. That's pretty much what they need.
It's a disappointment, and I feel like with it, what was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Oh shit! It's totally gone out my head.
About Horizon, about sales.
Yeah, it wasn't. I've totally forgot what the fuck. It's so annoying. Say something else while I think.
What were we talking about?
Horizon 3.
Oh yeah, from an objective level, I when I say things about this game, I'm saying it from an objective level. Yes, it's not broken, but that doesn't mean anything. It's not. I had more fun playing. I've had more fun playing Need for Speed, and that was a broken game. What's what do you mean? I don't get it.
It's like their formula works so well that they're scared to change it. It's like if they make any risks, any weird kooks in their game, that it will break it, or they're scared of criticism.
And that's another thing. Just because a game is bugged and glitched doesn't mean you can't have fun. Doesn't mean.
Oh no.
WWE SmackDown vs Raw 2006 was the most fucked game I have ever played, but the glitches on that literally had me dying. Like when niggas were levitating above a ladder, that shit had me, oh my god, it had me dead. And yes, obviously Need for Speed is a bit of a different case, but just because that game has problems doesn't take away from the fun factor.
You see, to counter that, I feel like, again, this can kind of be countered back from what I'm going to say, because obviously developers they're on time schedules and stuff. But if millions and millions of pounds are going into a production or something, I don't expect it to be broken. If you want me to pay £50 plus for your thing, I expect it to work. I expect it to. It may be lackluster and not what I expected, but at least I paid for a product that's well made.
You played Rainbow and that's broken.
Not.
Matchbroken's completely fucked.
Well, first of all, I didn't pay for that game. Second of all, I didn't buy it.
You sank hours and hours and hours into that game. Let's say you have paid for it.
But I don't feel like it's broken.
You paid for it in time.
I don't feel like it's broken.
It is. I'm telling you, objectively, the hitboxes are fucked. The matchmaking's fucked. The balancing's fucked at some points.
It doesn't knock the game like.
Exactly my point. Same with Need for Speed. Same with Need for Speed. And the crew as well. But it applies both.
Different. It's different because the actual playing mechanics of that game is broken.
So you could argue it's the same with Rainbow.
Awful, Cam.
You could say it's the same with Rainbow though. When I'm hitting with a glass and I'm hitting him straight on his head and it's not fucking working, that is the same as the car going straight to the side into a wall. Exact same thing. Or when you're shooting into an Ash and the hitboxes are fucked and you're hitting her straight in her head and it ain't fucking working, that's the same as a car being smashed into a wall. Exact same thing.
I guess. I don't know, I just don't feel like it's that.
You just don't see it because it's when you're rubber banding with the drone and it's going straight back and forth, that's the exact same thing. Exact same thing.
It is as well. It's just not that much of an issue though.
But there's a lot more in Rainbow which adds up compared to Need for Speed.
Yeah, I feel like little Need for Speed, because that's all you do is drive. The fact that it's the driving of the game is broken. I feel like if that game drove properly, I'd probably still play it now. Like I will drive on Forza, even though it's boring. I'll just drive around on it, but I can't do that on Need for Speed because it's the physics are just
at this point. I don't care anymore. As if a game, this is another thing. People, this is a bit cheesy and it's a bit car related, but you see this miles per gallon thing. People always go on about yeah, it's not a Rari, but I'm still having as much fun driving this than I am something else. Forza, it's
the Ferrari.
It's the Aston, and then Need for Speed. It's the thing which
that's the broken Japanese car that you have to keep.
It's the EK9, isn't it? Or it's the BR0. It's an RX-7 or something. It's the R32. It's like.
Nah, I don't think that's. I don't. Again, like I said, the millions of pounds go into the production of these things. I'm not giving them excuses like that. That's like saying, oh, you give your car to a mechanic and it doesn't fix it properly. Oh well, I tried. No.
I said, you don't say this about Rainbow, so where does that come from?
But Rainbow's not broken like that.
It is like that though. When you're rubber banding and you're going straight fast, it's the exact same thing.
No, it doesn't have. If that does happen, then it doesn't happen every game. It's every game. It's everything with Need for Speed. It's everything. Like the racing is everything. Where you're saying with the glass stuff, where if you shoot someone and it doesn't work, that doesn't happen to you every single game, does it?
That's one example, though. That's one example.
My point
there's problems in every single Rainbow game.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't feel like that's as prominent.
It definitely doesn't justify it, but it definitely doesn't take away from the fact that just because it has problems, it doesn't mean it's not a better game. You can still have problems and still get more smiles out of Need for Speed than a lot of other games, or the Crew, or whatever, or Rainbow for that. Rainbow is much more broken than Black Ops 3 is, but I have more smiles playing Rainbow than I do Black Ops 3.
Black Ops 3 is dead.
Rainbow is a much better game than Black Ops 3.
Black Ops 3 is actually not dead. A lot of people
Black Ops 3 is a defaced COD game.
Black Ops 3 is actually a pretty good game.
From a structural standpoint, let's say Rainbow's Need for Speed and let's say Black Ops is Forza. It's a bit like it's not 100%, but you see where I'm coming from. It's more of a case of Rainbow is not as well built as COD is, but I can still have more fun on that game. That's just it.
Yeah, but
that's what you should rate your games on.
Because I know a lot.
That's what you should rate your games on. It's fun, isn't it?
I know in this community, so this racing game community, so people who watch our videos and stuff and whatever, I know that those people have an issue with Forza, but as an open, like the everyday person, if I look at Forza, or I go and ask the average person who plays Xbox, what do you think about Forza? They'll say it's a very good game. They won't have these issues. I feel like because we have such a open mind, I like to think that
a lot of the problems you see with Forza, like you only see if you're like really if you're like an enthusiast.
These games should be built for the hardcore fan base, not for the casuals. Because once you satisfy the hardcores, they're gonna tell the casuals, and then they're gonna come in. It doesn't matter. Like these games.
Yeah.
I mean, a good
Forza
example
is a casual game, but it shouldn't be.
I mean, a good example like this is PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. Like that game is built for hardcore, like FPS shooter people.
but yeah, No one knows what that
Then
is.
you
No, Rainbow's a
haven't
perfect. Rainbow's a perfect example. Rainbow is the most hardcore of first-person shooters out there. Yeah, that's one
why
of the.
people don't like it.
Yeah, that's one of the most top-played games on Twitch.
Do you know a lot of people don't like that game? They say it's
Too hard.
It's shit.
But
Yeah,
my point
well,
is,
it's just shit.
look at that. That's one of the most played games on Xbox, isn't it?
Might be.
But
It's
I
always
assume so.
it's always on the spotlight.
It's always on one of the top games on Twitch, and that's my point. Is once you convince the hardcore people, the casuals will come in. It's just convincing the hardcore people, and Forza
feel like
is not a game like that.
To counter that, these people are running businesses. You gotta understand, and they've got bosses. So yeah, okay, it would be nice for them to kind of pay attention to the actual gamers a bit, but they've got to think about how they're gonna sell their games at like Christmas and shit. So if they start pulling out these games that are hard for people to jump into, then they're gonna start making money.
They don't need to though.
Start buying them.
Rainbow is not particularly hard to jump into. Like the game and the way the guns feel and the way you move around, that's not hard. What's hard
No,
is the
I
actual
mean,
gameplay.
The master it.
But what I'm saying is, like if you were to make the progression a bit harder and a bit slower, that's not going to stop the casual playing.
No, definitely.
There's
not.
things
But,
where you don't have
what
to.
I'm saying is, you imagine Turn 10, Microsoft Studios, and Playground Games, or not. Just to confirm, Turn 10 do not publish the game. Turn 10 develop it alongside Playground. So imagine Microsoft Studios, the publishers, and the two developers sit in a room, and the developers say, right, we want to start making our games harder to work through, and Microsoft are like, well, we don't want that because we need you to make money. What do they say to them? No.
How does that start making money?
Because, like I said, if you start making your game significantly harder to play through, which the point you're trying to make, right? So to bump up the difficulty and bump up the progression to make it harder to play.
We want to give less, not difficulty in terms of AI. We want to give less money for race wins, similar to Horizon 1. And we want to make cars give a bit more worth. So when we pull on these events and these cars go onto the auction house, they're much more special, etc., etc.
Exactly. No. I totally agree with that.
That doesn't change the game for the casual.
Step out of your shoes for a minute and step into a full-on businessman's shoes.
If you were to word that in a like political sense, I don't see any reason why you couldn't bring that to the board.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. I don't feel like people are making enough noise about Forza for them to change anything. Wherever I look, it's positive. That's my thing. That's why it's so confusing to me.
That's why I'm speaking about it right now.
Anyone talk about Forza, it's good. I never see anyone criticizing it, and it's like, well, there are issues, bro. Just because the exterior and the shell of it's fine doesn't mean like the heart's gone. And I've said this, like when the game stepped off last gen, it lost heart. It's like it left a piece of it behind. And
she got that Nicki Minaj ass. She got that Nicki Minaj ass, but she, on the inside, she's like suicidal.
That's cold. That's fucking dark. That's a dark analogy.
Fucking hell.
Were you gonna say something, CJ?
No, I was just saying. I just raised my hand.
Because one thing I was gonna say is the only person I know that it makes noise about Forza is Theo on a big level.
On a big level,
because we've already talked about this. AR12 just
he still plays it.
Yeah, he still plays it. Still gets invited out. Like it's a joke. It's actually a joke.
Still goes out to the events and records it, and then says shit after.
Like
Microsoft don't care because they want that motherfucking
they can't get that motherfucking money, nigga. Get that motherfucking money, nigga. Nah, yeah, like I said, AR12 ass licks them, and anyone else they invite ass licks them. So it's like whatever in it.
I mean, how many times have we had this conversation?
But I'm not gonna sit here and say we can't do anything about it. I feel like if you make enough noise, eventually they're gonna listen.
That's fine. You gotta work. So
that's why I'm sitting here and saying it's the best game for this generation, because it's not. It
ain't the best game of this generation.
Racer. It's not like I can't sit here and say Horizon with the same race, like just race mode only in the career mode, where I can unlock a Ferrari and race with it after about 3 hours of playtime, and I'm done most of what there is to do in the game after a day. I can't sit here and say that's the best game of this racing game of this generation. I can't, because besides driving around, there's nothing to do in that game. Nothing. Once you've experienced all the multiplayer modes, there's no progression after endgame. None. Not compared to the Crew, at least. I'd argue the Need for Speed has a similar issue with endgame content. I completely think, but even then, Need for Speed's got Prestige mode. It's got Eddie's Challenge. There is some endgame there. With Horizon, you have Game Plus, which is the exact same as the normal career mode. It's not a new story. It's not, you know, the normal races on ridiculous hard mode. It's not, you know, like the Crew where you've got, you know, PvP where like you actually get stuff.
You can configure the game to be ridiculously hard. Add tire wear. Add simulator damage and stuff. If you really want to go that deep, you can add that, and you can make the driver tasks
It's
harder.
not a separate thing though. Okay, we'll just get rid of that then. The Eddie's Challenge is a new story mode into the game.
Eddie's Challenge is like 5 races. Why you
more
glorifying
it? It's actually 15.
It's 15.
Well, it's
15 races.
We've broken fucking physics.
That's 15 more races, 15 more pieces of content.
That's still more content.
Still more
though.
content. Still more content.
It doesn't change the fact.
But that contradicts what you're saying, because you said to me earlier that it's not about a game can be broken and have quite. But I don't even.
Yeah,
think
a game can be broken and
to
still be
race.
fun. And okay, well then go for over to the Crew as an example. Then the Crew has so much more end game content. You got given the calling all units as a cop, or was it a racer for free? One of the two. You got given that for free. So if you go on now, you can do that. That's end game content. They've added more PvP modes. That's more end game content. All the free cars they added in the Summit, that's more end game content. Even the ones they didn't add in the Summit, and the ones they gave away free in DLC packs, more end game content. It's not just like Forza where you only just get the car. You get the specs for it as well, which is more customization, more paints, and all that kind of stuff. It's just Forza. When you finish the game, you finish the game. Now I will say Forzathon is great. Forzathon is the one thing which has me coming back, but that's easy. It's too casual. It's way too easy for me to unlock it. And Forzathon should be the one thing in the game which should not be easy, because that's the one thing which has people coming back. And again, it reverts to the point of Forza being way too easy for casuals, and Need for Speed and the Crew being much more dedicated to the hardcore fan. Need for Speed less so than the Crew, because obviously the Crew is an MMORPG, but the point still stands.
I wouldn't say so much for the Crew, but for my thing with Need for Speed is the only reason why I give that leeway, the only reason why I wouldn't put it as one of the shittest Need for Speeds, is because I have the game actually stands for something. It stands for change in the series. So the next game will be my verdict on it, on if they've totally. I know it's all coming from a good place. I know that for a fact, but I feel like Need for Speed, if this was the second time they've done like a kind of that style of game, and it was the second time they had all those models and stuff, I definitely would not be buying the next Need for Speed.
See, definitely. And that's where me and you are different. I look at Need for Speed as a huge improvement upon Rivals. It is a huge improvement upon Rivals, but it's still not a huge improvement upon the new. Compared to the games that it's put out in the past, it doesn't hold a candle. It just doesn't. But that's the problem. Horizon 1 does not hold Horizon 3 does not hold a candle to Horizon 1.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. As a game, yes,
it does.
I'm talking. So you're okay. So disregard everything. You're saying that if a game's broken, it's fine if I enjoy it. You're saying it's like I said. If you take your
Horizon
car to a
1
mechanic and they don't fix it,
I'd argue. Besides, if minus Thor's Forzathon, Horizon 1 had more in-game content. It had 1,000 club.
Yeah.
For every car, that's 5 more challenges, which is actually something which isn't that bad to do. It's quite fun. And then I'd argue that the rally expansion in that game was leaps and bounds better than anything that they've released. Well, actually that's a lie. Hot Wheels was good, but rally expansion was much better than Snow Island or whatever it's called, Blizzard Mountain. I'd argue that Forza. Okay, but let's compare it to Horizon 2 then, because that's like the next increment. I'd say Forza 1 is leaps and bounds better than Horizon 2 in terms of end game content and keeping people interested in the game.
Yeah. It's a tricky one for me. Very much a tricky one.
Just think about it, like 1,000 clubs free. That's like they would never do anything like that now.
I just feel like I like to pick up a game and feel like I don't know. I don't know.
I look at Need for Speed 2015 and I see a massive improvement on Prime Rivals. The police aren't suicidal. I would much rather have dead police than suicidal police. I couldn't.
Needed it though. It needed it, fam. It needed it.
The thing is with Rivals, you couldn't stay outside of the garage and go downstairs. People say, oh yeah, okay, I can't pause the game. You couldn't do it in Rivals either. The difference with Rivals is if you stayed outside in the garage, outside the garage, you'd be busted by the time you get back. That's what I see when I see Need for Speed 2015, and the difference is, yeah, the physics are trash, but it's not going around a corner, tap LT, and it's like I'm playing on an arcade game, you know, in the bowling alley. It's, you know, when I go into the garage, it's not liveries, it's a rap header. When I go into the map, it's not, you know, like I'm going into one area, it's the fucking Antarctic, I'm going into another area, I'm in sunny, you know, downtown America. I'm seeing a gritty open world that has consistency. That's what I'm seeing, and that's the issue with a lot of people with Need for Speed, is they don't see that, they compare it to Underground 2, and you shouldn't be comparing it to Underground 2 because that's just not fair. That's like comparing that's like comparing the Crew to TDU2. It's not fair. That's not how it works. The Need for Speed 2015 should be compared to Rivals, and when you look at Rivals and Need for Speed 2015 side by side, 2015 is a far superior game, and that's the difference. And that's the difference between me and everyone else. Everyone else looks at Need for Speed and compares it to Most Wanted. I look at Need for Speed and compare it to Rivals.
I ain't comparing it to shit.
I ain't
comparing it to shit. What I'm seeing it as is, like I said, I'm in the same boat as you. I have complete 100% faith in the next game. I have complete, like I said, I don't put Need for Speed 2015 in a bad boat because of the fact that what it stands for and the progress it's made, and the fact that it was spawned from a little old YouTuber making a bit of noise. That's what I see it as. Think about that for a minute. Alien from Britain has a YouTube account
from Zorgon. You forgot about that.
And he said he didn't like Need for Speed and what's happening with Need for Speed. He called it shit. He trashed it completely.
We all did.
Defaced it on his channel.
Especially.
Everyone did. The whole community did. I wasn't here at that point, but I wasn't playing Need for Speed, so I was making a point too by not buying this shit. I wasn't buying it. They were still making sales. Rivals sold, didn't it? Rivals sold.
I've got 2 copies.
Exactly. So but the fact that that noise made a fucking EA company actually step back and go, whoa, okay, we need to fix that. That says a lot. That speaks magnitudes for me. That's mad. And that's the reason why I will never say that Need for Speed 2015 is a shit game. I'm not buying the next game, or it's trash. They don't care about the game. If you think that, then you're very narrow-minded and you obviously aren't looking at the situation properly. But going back to the argument against Forza Horizon 1 wasn't broken. Played well. Was fine. Formula worked. Same with Forza Horizon 2. Formula worked. Okay, we don't like it. But as a whole, and they're looking at their sale projections, they're looking at everything. No, it doesn't sell like Gran Turismo. No, it doesn't. It's not, because it's just not on that. It's not that type of.
Pretty
it's
sure
not
Horizon
got that title.
Horizon 2 didn't sell that well.
It didn't. And then Forza Horizon 3, Forza Horizon basically, my point is, their games have never been at a critical stage where they're unplayable, or that's where it goes back to quality of the game for me. They've never been at they seem like millions have been put into them, to me, in terms of the way they are, the quality of them. Yeah, okay, it's repetitive, it's very repetitive, but there is content in there. There are a race type game, there are game modes in there, there's online on there, there are things in the game, there's clubs, there's auction house, there's rap editor, there's parts in the game, there's over 500 cars, the graphics are insane,
and that's
the game's a hefty package. If you're trying to tell me that it's not a hefty package and you're paying for a hefty game with a very, very well made, well crafted piece of art, which I see video games as art, I see Forza as a piece of art. That's what I look at it as. It has its own style. It's never, I felt like that this with Forza Horizon 1, it's never felt like it's trying to be anything else, even though a lot of the developers that went into Playground are from different games. It feels like a completely new game, and it's made its own lane. Forza doesn't feel like Need for Speed. It doesn't feel like The Crew. It doesn't feel like Test Drive or Midnight Club. It feels like its own thing, and that I have to give it that, because it's okay. It's not rampacked with different things like The Crew is, but it's about the fact that it is a visual and playing experience wise, in my opinion, piece of art. That's what puts it ahead for me. It is what it's like buying a phone. It's like buying an iPhone and it doesn't work, and then buying an Android and it's hefty. It's what you paid for. If you buy an iPhone for the same price and it doesn't work, it's like, what the fuck? But
they're all still playable games though.
Yeah, no, they are.
If you go back to what I was saying about Rivals in 2015, look at the difference. 2 years. Okay, keep in mind the same development time. What's different between Horizon 2 and 3 besides a map and a few more cars?
Oh, I'm being a bit
drift zones as well.
The drone thing.
Drone mode.
Nothing to warrant $160 new dollars.
It's 2 years gap, and it didn't need to be changed. To them, it didn't need to be changed.
But to us, it does, and we are the consumer, and we're the one that matters in the situation.
Exactly, but like I said, we're kind of an anomaly, you know.
And now I'm gonna go back to the Rivals versus 2015 thing. A lot changed. DLC changed. CJ, do you remember when they sold each individual car for £2? And that was, so they had the cop variant and they had the racer variant, and both of them were £2 each. So basically, they were ripping you off for cars and DLC. That completely changed. That got scrapped. You got free DLC instead. You got more modes. You got drift mode came back for the first time in about 4 years. In Need for Speed, and that isn't even in Forza. Drift mode, I'd say, is one of the redeeming things in that game. What else? Obviously all the customization and stuff. Again, Forza has wide bodies but doesn't have it anywhere near like Need for Speed does, and I don't really care for that, to be honest. That's different. That's a Need for Speed thing. I wouldn't mind if Forza has that or not. It doesn't really bother me. But again, you look at the 2 year difference and you see Forza doing barely anything with their game over a 2 year gap, and you see Need for Speed transforming over 2 years, rebuilding the game from the ground up.
Because they needed to, because the game was completely in pieces.
Forza needs to do something.
Forza's not in pieces. It's a different situation. The game's not.
I'm not saying it's in the same situation, but they need to do something.
To them, I'm not defending it. I honestly agree with you. No, I am, because I'm looking at it from the developer's perspective, and like, it's not the case of they don't need to fix President Nixon.
They do, because otherwise it's gonna fall. It's gonna fall in the same issue which Need for Speed had.
And that would be their issue, and that would be good. That would be good.
That's actually good.
But we don't want it to get to that point. I don't want to see Forza. I don't want to see Forza to get to that point.
It needs to get to that point.
I've said this before in a podcast. I remember saying it. Forza needs to fall off because it's too high on its horse, bro. It's too happy.
I don't want to see another racing game get to the state where because I'm not going to sit here and say where we were with Rivals was a good point in Need for Speed history, because that was the worst point it's been, and I don't want Forza, and this is why I'm saying all this. I don't want Forza to get to the same level where Need for Speed was, where I was making Craig Up videos all those years ago campaigning for a better game. I don't want that.
The thing is, think about it this way. Need for Speed got to that point, but then it soared above that, and now we're getting what we've wanted after years and years and years. Forza needs to get to that point where it's in the dumps, it's in the shallows.
Like I said, it's a different situation. The main reason why Rivals and Need for Speed as a whole was a problem because it was because of the game's mechanics as well as its actual content.
And it's not just about content. Yeah.
It's not just about content in games. Obviously, it is. It's a huge factor. But like I said, I'll always keep going back to it. Forza's not broken.
But and this is my point though. You can have a hefty game, but what's the point when 500 cars ain't worth shit?
Exactly. But they don't need to fix that. They don't need to. People will still eat that shit. They don't need to fix that. We are a very small majority of people. I don't think you realize.
We're the people who. We're the people that. This sounds a bit bad. We're the people that. Okay, how am I going to word this without sounding like a dickhead? We're the people who play. We're not IGN developers. We're the ones that play games after the fact. And I'm not sitting here, I don't know why people blindly defend Forza like it's not doing something wrong. You can have a game with 500 cars, you can have a game with physics, but what's the point when it's all there and the game's pointless after a month? What's the point?
Yeah.
What's the point? If I played Horizon 2, I played Horizon 3. What's the point? What's the point in me buying Horizon 4 if I played the past two and they're the exact same thing? What's the point in me having a Dino worth 15 million when I'm not going to buy it because I've got 6 other cars or I've won it in a wheel spin? What's the fucking point? What's the point in you? I just don't get it. With the Crew Need for Speed, there's a point. There's a point for you to like only having 5 cars in your garage. There's a point to maxing out your car at 1399 or whatever. You know, there's a point to it. The Forza, it's a tech demo. It's a tech demo. That's all it is. You go in, the graphics look pretty, the cars handle are alright, it's good enough for you to drop in, and then that's it. It's a tech demo. It's like, it's one of those things for them to show off for the Xbox Scorpio when it comes around. Forza 7, here you go. The graphics look great. Look at Forza on Xbox Scorpio, and it's a tech demo. That's all it is at this point. There's no heart, there's no soul in the game, and this is a problem. And I don't understand why no one is making an issue out of it, because it's true. And I will
see, to say there's no heart or no soul in the game is like someone saying that Ghost games don't care about
compared to Horizon 1. Compared to Horizon 1.
Yeah,
compared to Forza 4.
And then that goes back to what I said, my point of they're way too comfortable. And
that's what I'm saying is like compared to when they had something to chase for, and they should there should be something to chase for, because Need for Speed sold much better, I'm pretty sure. Off the top of my head, I can't confirm facts. I don't know if they did or not, but I'm pretty sure Need for Speed was on the same level.
Need for Speed, considering Need for Speed is on multi-platform.
Oh no, on Xbox. CJ, look at the sales. Look at the
sales.
sales.
Are you understanding that? That's like comparing...
And the Crew. Look at the sales for the Crew and Need for Speed.
That's like comparing Reebok. That's comparing Reebok to fucking Nike.
It's still one console.
It's like that's like comparing Destiny to Halo.
But that's my problem. Is they think they're on that level, and supposedly
they
are
right now.
And that's contradicting your previous point, because they are on that level. So what's I don't understand the point of what you're making.
That's what I mean about the game needs to be put down. It needs competition. And we're getting
right. So on Xbox One, Need for Speed 2015 sold 750-ish copies. Now let me look up Forza.
750,000 copies.
Yep.
Nearly a mil. What the fuck?
It sold nearly 3 mil on PlayStation 4.
I wonder what the next.
Drive Club outsold Forza Horizon 2. I'm pretty sure.
Forza
and that
Horizon
came even
3.
around anymore.
A lot of people play it. A lot more people play it.
2 million. There was 2 million on Xbox. So Forza Horizon 3 outbeat.
Oh really?
Need for Speed. Yeah.
On what 3 or 2?
3.
Forza Horizon 3 is the best. I'm pretty sure it's the best selling Forza.
Yeah, let me see. Let me just for comparison. Let me see Horizon. Horizon 2 only sold 1 million.
I just typed in Horizon.
Look at the Crew.
I always do that.
Look at the Crew. If the Crew hasn't sold like near, I'll be very confused.
The Crew on Xbox. Let me check. Xbox One 600,000. Need for Speed 2015 sold more.
That's mad to me. So Horizon 3 was a step up then. Horizon 2 was shit, but Horizon 3 was a step up in sales.
Which makes
no sense. That makes 0 sense.
Wow.
Oh, I'm just looking now. This is the Crew's sales figures for PC, which I play the Crew on. Only 160,000.
So I know it's sold on PS4.
So it sold more on 360 than PC. What?
I believe Forza 4 is their best-selling one, because that sold as of now, that sold 4.5 million copies.
Makes sense.
It does make sense, because it's the fucking best game they've made. Like, alongside Forza Horizon 1, boy, that game was it actually upsets me because of how the experience on that game, and the music, the soundtrack, the menu music, the feel of the game is just.
This is what I'm saying. Totally it's like there's no need to defend them at this point, fam. Like,
I will defend them though, because I'll defend the fact that they're making good games. They're not making shit games. They're not tricking me into buying shit games. They're not. I'm sorry. They're just not.
And maybe that's why everyone's
at the end of the day. The end of the day, okay, it's lacking on a lot of things, but. I can still see passion in the game. I can. You can't make a game like that and it's passionless. Come on. If it was passionless, it'll be a bowl of shit. It isn't.
Like, if you recycle everything.
It's not recycle. You know. Were you in those studios, bro?
No, but I've played both games.
But you can't say that they've recycled everything. You don't know what they've done.
Recycle in terms of like they've made improvements, yeah, but like. Yeah, it's not a full recycle. It's not like what's the game like Modern Warfare 3 was to 2.
They like
It's
the
not
whole.
like that.
I feel like this is just like the things like the atmosphere in the game. Okay, so well, I was watching a live stream before Forza Horizon 3 came out, and like one of the developers was talking about how little things like to get the noises where the cars are bashing against each other. They got pieces of actual like
That's
metal.
just sound development, though.
Yeah, okay, but it adds to the fact that the game's very layered. Like, to say the game's got no passion.
But that's everything. That every developer does things like that. That's not just Forza.
No, they don't. Every
get
developer does
sounds.
things like that. No,
Need
they
for
don't.
Speed go to each car in the studio and
So
record the sounds.
So the Forza, a lot of car developers.
Exactly my point. Everyone does that. It's not. It's that's everyone does.
But the end thing is the game's not broken. I can play Forza and not float.
Everyone's content with Forza because it's just okay.
But yes, exactly. So as a company, as a business, as a big fucking $1 million company that's relying on sales, that's their thing. If they do not sell, they get dropped. They need that. So a game that doesn't work properly, it doesn't make any sense to me.
But so a game that sells, so a game that's just okay isn't going to sell better than a game that is great. That makes no sense to me. From a sales perspective, if you make a good game, it's going to sell like a good game.
I'm not being funny or anything, but Need for Speed 2015 wasn't great. It wasn't even. It was like under okay.
Compared to Rivals, it was much better.
Yeah.
It was under okay as a racing game bar on a line. If you put racing gears on a line and it's okays here, it's underneath okay.
Again, this comes to the objective thing of as objectively, yes, it's not proper, it's not fixed.
Or in your situation,
objectively,
as a fan of Need for Speed, with a lot of faith in the people that make it. That's the way you look at it. But you
as
have
someone
to look
who's
at
had
it
a lot of fun on that game, as someone who's had a lot of fun on that game and who's played that game a lot, I will quite gladly sit here and say that for me, as a whole experience, Need for Speed is a lot more fun than Forza, and that's only purely based off the fact that they don't do anything with Forza. They just like you said, it's the formula, they've stuck to it. But I'm not sitting here. I didn't sit there for Rivals. The Rivals was an okay game. I didn't sit there with Rivals and say this is okay, I'm content, because that's not how it should be.
Rivals was not an okay game.
Well, that's my point. Like, regardless, the point still stands. The point still stands regardless. I didn't sit there and was like, oh, okay. Like, I made noise about it.
Because you had to, because the game was broken.
I didn't have to do shit.
To me,
the crew
it
came out.
all goes round. Like, the circle, we're talking, and it just goes back to, if the game doesn't work properly, if there are mechanical issues with the way the game works, that's the problem. That is what needs to be tackled first.
I'm not saying Need for Speed's mechanical problems aren't big. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the amount of fun you can have in that game in comparison to Horizon there's a difference. There's a difference there, and that is because Horizon hasn't had as much heart as it has in the past. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that mechanically Need for Speed isn't a great game. Like I've said before, Rainbow is a broken game, but I can have more fun on that than I can COD, and COD is not a broken game. And it comes back to that point of, it doesn't particularly matter. It doesn't particularly matter. It's like I said, a Type R, a Civic Type R ain't as fast as a 458, but you're still probably gonna have just as much fun as you would normally.
I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like if it wasn't Need for Speed and it was any other game, you wouldn't be saying this. I
can come back to the crew then. The crew is another example of something.
The crew wasn't completely broken at launch.
The crew wasn't problems. The crew had
physics-wise, it wasn't a netcode in that. It wasn't
netcode.
The netcode. Was it? I can't remember.
CJ, remember when you would teleport into the crew and no one would be there?
Oh yeah. That happened in Test Drive.
What else?
That was
CJ,
very prominent in Test Drive.
Do you remember the physics on launch were fucked?
I don't remember that.
Do you remember when you come in from a jump on the crew and it just swerved to the left?
I've never had an issue with the physics on the crew.
It would just buckle. Do you not remember that?
It buckles, but that's it. That's the only.
I remember at launch, it would buckle and swerve to the left. That was a huge issue, which is very similar to something in Need for Speed. But again, it comes to that point. that circle again, we're full circling. It comes to that point where there's still, I have more fun on that game, even if it does have issues. I guess it is all subjective. It is all subjective. It is.
It is. But this is what it's about. You know, this conversation that we've just had for how long is what it's about. If people can just sit down on a game and determine it's shit and never look at it again, you ain't a fan of games. You don't care. And it all comes down to me actually like giving a shit about them.
Like I said, I'm not here hating on Forza for no reason. I wouldn't even say it's hate. I'd say this is all
that's what I was about to say.
This is all criticism. Like I'm saying this because I want Forza to be on Need for Speed level. For me at the moment, in terms of fun, okay, yeah, cool, the game works, whatever. But in fun factor, I don't give a shit. Like Rainbow. Rainbow is a broken ass game, but I can have so much more fun on Rainbow Six Siege than I can on COD because the game is fun. And that's what I'm saying is would you rather have this hefty game with 500 cars which mean nothing, or this experience on the other side?
Oh no, yeah, no. If I had to reverse both of their launches and choose one, it would obviously be Need for Speed because I prefer that. I prefer street racing. I prefer illegal vibes. Need for Speed is a childhood name for me, whereas Forza, okay, it is. I played it through my childhood, but I didn't play it like I played Need for Speed. I had every Need for Speed game. I had every Forza game, but then again, Forza, it's weird because Forza's grown so quickly. Forza's only 10 years old, going on to 11, I think.
Yep.
Need for Speed's like 20 plus now, isn't it?
Yep.
It's a whole decade older.
1994.
So, it's weird because they've Forza's kind of shot up there. That it's very weird. It's like it's like a YouTube channel that's grown too quick.
No, it's actually true. That's so true. That's so true. I can think of a handful of YouTubers I could call out right now, but I'll stop myself.
It's like Leafy is here.
No, it's true.
No, that's wrong.
It's a good comparison. It's a good comparison. No, that is actually a good comparison.
A good comparison to Leafy is his fucking Project Cars.
No, yeah, that's no. He's on the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah. But yeah, racing game. I
want him to pull a pyro. I want him to pull a pyro. That's what they need to do. I like this. I like the fact that we've got racing games to even fucking talk about. Because last year, what we have Forza and Dirt. We're not a racing game podcast. I hate it when people say that because we're really, really not. But like, this is one of the very few exceptions of like when there's actually shit to talk about.
I think we've been speaking about games for this whole. Well, no, we have. We've been speaking about games for the whole thing, and it's usually like talking about sex or something. But
food.
We've not made one disgusting joke. Wow, mad. I'm proud. I'm very proud.
This is what I'm saying. It's not even for me. It's not even a Need for Speed thing. It's just 500 cars where it means nothing, or a game where I feel like there's something behind it. Like this isn't just Need for Speed. It applies to the crew as well. There's something more to it than just content. The Forza for me is just content, as where the other one is an experience. Yes, I can go on Forza and I can take photos and it's going to look 10 times better it is on the other game. But there's an experience to be had on the other games that Forza does not supply to me. And that's what it is.
No, definitely. But let's look into the future a bit. Let's step away from now and look into the future a bit. Honestly, do you feel like the next Forza Horizon is just going to be Forza Horizon 4?
Yes.
Probably.
So sad, though. Sad because they're at the point where fam, you just sold 2 million units, bro.
And it's not going to be anywhere
you just sold 2 million units. Yeah, is it been out for a year yet?
No.
No. 2 million fucking units in under a year is something, bro. Do something with that. You've bought people.
You know what the sad thing is?
Interested and into your product. Do something with it. And like, it's sad, man.
Unless they get a big kick up the ass, there's going to be less progression from 3 to 4. Than there was from 2 to 3, if that makes sense. Actually, I'll tell you exactly why. I'll tell you exactly why.
You're going to be logging in every day and you get like 6 NSXs every day.
There's a valid reason to why they're not going to have as much in the last game. Or it's less likely, unless they get a kick up the ass, than making that open world game. Development split.
Oh, true.
I feel like...
Think about that.
I feel like, though, Do you feel like by 2018, that's when? Do you feel like next generation of consoles will be out by then?
No.
No. When do you think they'll come?
2020.
2020.
2020.
Right.
I don't think that the next Horizon, the amount of progression that was made from 2 to 3 is not going to be the same as 3 to 4, purely based on the fact that they're making that open world game and the development team is going to be even smaller than it is now, and I doubt they're going to really employ loads more people. I just don't think
Well, you
it's
got
gonna
to
happen.
understand we've got 2 studios that work on the same game.
Yeah, but that's what I'm... Okay, well, even then, it still applies. It still applies.
They've got Turn 10 and
Playground is still going to be, like, halved. Yeah, but Turn 10 don't really develop Horizon like that, though. It's pretty much on Playground. It's just Turn 10.
Yeah.
Turn 10 say it's like what Criterion did with Rivals. It was a Ghost game. Criterion just had help with it. It wasn't like it was a Criterion game. Although it had Criterion elements.
Turn 10 kind of provide the assets and stuff, and the engine and that, I guess.
And that's what has me even more worried for Horizon. The lack of progress with the last game, and the next one's going to be even worse because the development of the open world game they're making. I'm hoping it doesn't restrict it too much. I could be completely wrong, but the likelihood is it's probably going to have some type of problem, or something. It's going to have a factor on it.
Don't really know why they're making an open world game, but okay.
New challenge in it. That's what they said.
Who asked? Probably who asked.
They need to sort out the Horizon
Goes
first.
back to
They need to add drift mode. Why is that not a thing? Drift mode for one. They've added in drift zones, but that's nothing like actually having a full-on drift mode. That needs to be a thing. There needs to be go back to Horizon 1 in the progression, please. Make me start from D-Class and go to S2. I don't want to start off in an NSX, upgrade to S1, and then go from S1 onwards. That's not what I want to see. Give me a story mode. Give me a story mode like there was in Horizon 1. Give me, you know, people like, what was that guy's name? The one that had like a fucking Jewish last name in the Horizon 1 campaign.
Yeah, I remember.
It wasn't Darius, was it? The guy with the
Darius.
XK. No, he was in the F9, the 599 XX. Flint. Darius Flint. That's his name. I want to see
with the glasses.
Yeah, exactly. I want to see protagonists, or antagonists I can actually remember. Give me a story. 3 things right there, which would add bleeps.
You know what?
And
I
bounds.
honestly, looking at it, it's kind of the same as COD. No, it's not, because Forza's got no backlash. That's
Give me a map to remember, and that's another thing. Colorado was memorable. I don't even remember France that much. I remember one of the coastal roads, and that was it. And then even in Horizon 3, I remember that one coastal road and bits of the Hot Wheels expansion because I played it so recently. The maps aren't memorable like they used to be in Horizon 1, and it's a bit different because Horizon is such a young series. You kind of can compare all of them because they're so far in between, if you know what I mean. When Need for Speed, the difference between Underground 1 and 2015, that's a 10-year difference, so you can't really compare it. But Horizon 1 to 3, that's not that long. You can kind of compare them. And
that also gives me faith in it as well. The fact that it is just a very young series means that there is space to grow and change. It's not like it's the end, they're just fixed on it. It's only 3 games.
It would be cool. It would be cool to see a Horizon X and see street racing. I don't think it needs it though.
It doesn't need it.
I don't think it needs it though.
No, it doesn't. It's for me. It's the feel that they went for. The whole music festival thing was a good idea, but they've just not been executing it properly.
The one thing they do well each time was soundtracks. I love the soundtracks in the game.
I've actually forgotten that
it's a music festival.
When I play, I don't even think about music festivals anymore. I did when I played the first one though. You know, can you remember all the brands and stuff and the G-Shock?
G-Shock like sponsorships
Rockstar.
and yeah. There
was just, I don't know, even like, you know, the filtering on the game.
Yeah.
The colour palette and stuff.
Just the way anywhere you'd go, you'd see festival lights, and there's one specific moment I remember. I was pitch black. Can't remember what car I was, but I was going to Main Festival and I heard Language by Paul Robinson play. And there's just something iconic about that, like that song. I immediately when I hear it, I think of Horizon, and there's just nothing like that in 2 or 3.
There isn't.
Nothing like that. It's like when you think of Need for Speed, you think of "You need to know that I'm a rider." Like it has a significance, it has a thing, even though the song wasn't in the game until afterwards. Like, that should say something though. The game wasn't even in the fucking game, yet you still remember it. Like, it's still a thing, and like
the impact of that shit though, bro.
And like dun 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 dun, like it's just like you remember the songs. Yeah, Horizon is a music festival, and you don't give me a song in Horizon 3 which is actually memorable. I know the songs just because I knew the song before Horizon.
There actually is one that is memorable. The Rancid song, I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, but that's because you like rock. That's different. It's not like a Night Riders. Like, I remember one song. It was like, "You got me feeling all your power." That one with on the bass arena. But the only reason I know that song is because it was popular on the radio, and I remember hearing it in there. That's the only reason why I know the song. It wasn't because of Horizon.
Walking on a Dream, but that was from the first one. Like, the first one has all the memorable music.
That's my point. Is like there's nothing memorable about Horizon. It's just
the guy with the best drum going around like boom boom boom.
It just feels like it's just a dead experience. It doesn't feel like an experience like the first one did. Like I said, I just remember there's just something special about listening to Porter Robinson in the pitch black going up a canyon road in a street race on Horizon 1, and it felt gritty. It felt it's just Horizon 1 was a fucking great. I would say Horizon 1 was one of my favorite races of all time, easily, hands down. Hands down.
It was a very
in my top 5
good game.
Top 5.
To say that it was a new IP as well. It was mad. Like,
it had something to prove. Same with Forza 3 and Forza 4. They had to catch up with Gran Turismo. That's why they were so good. Now
there was ambition. They were chasing something. It's like they're not chasing anything anymore. They need competition.
That's what I'm saying. Need for Speed needs to fucking kick them up their ass. The crew needs to kick them up their ass, and they need to realise that just because you get 10 out of 10 review scores doesn't mean anything nowadays. Review scores mean fuck all, literally. The review scores for Need for Speed didn't hinder the sales at all. People can make their minds up now because we've got YouTube. We've got people who make Let's Plays on this shit. If people want to find out about the game, they won't go to an IGN review anymore. They'll look it up on YouTube, and they'll probably end up finding a Theo video or an AR12 video or a Slap Train video, exactly how you did, Jay. When you Googled Horizon, you didn't find IGN, you found Slaptrain, and that's how you got introduced to the community. And this is the point I'm trying to make. It's like I'm repeating myself.
I hear you, bro. I got you. I catch you.
I will never forget the opening sequence to Horizon. Never will I forget the opening sequence to the original Horizon, where you're driving up and in the Viper, and then he's like, "Psych, nigga, you thought," and then you get put in the fucking VW. Like, I won't forget. Even Horizon 2's one was slightly memorable when you come off the trailer thing in Huracan, but Horizon 3 doesn't have anything memorable for me. What even was the intro to that game?
You drove to an UI airport and you had to drive the Sentinel.
I don't even remember that. Oh yeah, I remember that. The only reason I remember the intros from those two games is because I played the demo so hard. Horizon 2, I think had a much more memorable entrance because of the intro and stuff, but it was nothing compared to "Hey girls, hey boys, Superstar DJs." You know, when it came up with the festival and shit, and it had girls like on poles and shit. I was like, yes, that's what I want.
What I'll never forget is seeing the fucking intro, the launch trailer for it. Was it the launch or the E3?
The one with the red Viper.
Where it's driving out of the house, and then there's a part in the trailer where there's like they're driving next to a lake, and you can see like the lights, and it's like someone made you light up, and that shit had
light up the sky above.
Weight to it.
If you hear me now, show me the sign.
See that song there? That song, I'd say that's that theme song. That's the theme song of that theme song of that game.
See, for me, it's language, but that's the good thing though. Is what I'm saying is like you've still got like it was that memorable that we all still know these songs.
No, that game it's sad. I'm just thinking back, and I'm just thinking how the fuck up so much.
They have fucked up. This is my point. This is what it all comes down to. It's not good. It's not good that we are sitting here and Horizon 1 was a better game, and that wasn't that long ago.
I feel like it's sad that the way we look at it, people don't look at shit like that, man.
And this is what I'm saying. It's 2012. We had Horizon and Most Wanted 2012. Look at current day. We've got 2015 and Horizon 3. Look at the difference between those two games. It's huge. It's mad.
Yeah.
But one of them's for the worse and one of them's for better, and that's what I'm saying. That's the problem. This is it, man. Like Horizon 1, I jumped on that game late, by the way. I just want to let everyone know. I jumped on that game in 2013. It was a year after launch. I jumped on that game late, after all the DLC was put out, and it's still up there with some of my favourite racing games. So no one can tell me that I'm biased in this situation, because I played Horizon 1 late. I played Forza 4 late, and I can still consider those some of the best races I've ever played. I like Need for Speed, but I'm not one to sit here and say, again, CJ can attest, Rivals was shit, I boycotted that game. I'm a Need for Speed fan, but I'm not a fanboy. And that's where people get it twisted, isn't it? Yeah, people get it twisted. I'm not a fanboy of any of these games. I say it how it is. If there's a problem, I'll say, but there's just bigger problems elsewhere.
Yeah.
I don't feel like Need for Speed, they know about the physics, fam. Shut up. You don't think the developers are listening? You don't think they listen? Do you not think they added manual because you listen? Like, they listen. The reason why I'm so constant about Forza is because I don't feel like they listen.
They aren't.
No, they don't really.
That's the problem.
It goes back to them not caring, because the fact that there's not a lot of people making noise about it.
And that's what I mean. It's like, noise doesn't need to be made about Need for Speed at this point. The noise already was made 2-3 years ago with Rivals. That's happened now. It's done. It's finished. You know, the noise has been made.
It did need to be made again, because the reboot wasn't great.
But nowhere near the same as Rivals, though.
So you're saying it should have just been quiet? People should have just been,
no. What I'm saying is,
they wouldn't have fixed anything.
No, what I'm saying is, Ghost would have listened regardless. What I'm saying is, it didn't need to be on the level. They don't need to go out and start screaming to the top of their lungs, the physics are broken. I'm sure they know the physics are broken. Yeah. I'm sure on the Reddit, if you went on the Reddit and made a thread and said the physics are going to be broken, they would have fixed it. That's not a problem. It's not like Forza, like where we're screaming for these things and they're not listening. Ghost are listening regardless.
For I'm just repeating myself.
They're not necessities. Is that what you're about to say?
Yeah, it's not.
I feel like it's a necessity to improve, though.
Yeah, okay, it is, but they don't need to.
Every series needs to improve. I thoroughly believe every series needs to improve.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's why I said it has space to grow. But like the whole thing with the Ghost Games being woken up, it's because their series was plummeting as a whole. It was crumbling.
And considering Rivals had what, 5 months development time?
Less than that, like 3.
Oh, what? It had fucking 3 months developing time.
Again, these people don't know this.
What the fuck?
It had like 5 months development time.
Bro, I know people who've worked on videos longer than that.
It had the same. I worked on the documentary longer than that. It had the Hot Pursuit map just flipped.
Not even that, just tilted.
Yeah. Same map.
Wow.
And this is what I'm saying, people don't know, people don't understand where we came from. People like me and CJ who literally made fucking cancerous videos saying this game is shit. We campaigned for like months, like, I just, like, it doesn't take away from the fact, but like, it's when you do something like that, you learn things which other people don't know. And it's just, this is what I'm saying, it's like, Forza need to improve. They've only gone downhill since Horizon 1. In terms of the game as an experience, at least in my opinion, that's how I see it. I think Horizon 1 was the best Horizon. I reckon that's going to be the last good Horizon in a very long time. Like like the last best
Definitely.
Horizon, the best Horizon. It's not going to be trumped for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what. But just come raise your lights off. If you hear me now, that game had 3 radio stations. It was the rock radio station, Pulse, and bass, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the off station.
And the off station. And those 3 stations had songs more memorable than any of the ones in the 20 stations that we have now.
Yeah.
Easy. Like, I remember songs from the Pulse station, and I only listened to Bass Arena. I remember Walking on a Dream, and I didn't even listen to that radio station. Walking on a dream. I didn't even like, what does that mean? Like, even little things, like, do you remember the big Forza logo on the main base? That's landmarks, fam. So what does Surfers Paradise have? Big buildings. That's all it has. It has nothing memorable about it. It has a big straight where you can get flashed by a camera. Like, I don't know. I feel like for me, it's one of those things. Once you've experienced one of the recent Horizons, you've experienced them all.
Yeah.
Once you've experienced Rivals, you've not experienced 2015. That's the difference for me. I think that's where the difference lies, and I feel like with 2017, it's not going to be like 2015 because you've got a day and night cycle. You've got weather, and like the weather's going to be different. You've got like, there's just difference. It feels gritty. It looks gritty. I'm sure the story mode isn't going to be brofist. You know, it's gonna be nigga, I'm gonna kill you and take all your fucking money. And like, it's gonna be gritty again. It's not gonna be. It's gonna feel different. It's gonna feel like a different experience. It's not gonna feel like, oh, I've played 2015, I played 2017, and like, I guess that's where it lies really. Like, yeah, obviously with racing games, there's only so much you can do, but it's not like FIFA where it's only football. There's so much you can add to racing stuff, and that's where the difference lies. I think a lot of people get twisted, and especially on YouTube videos as well. A lot of people think, oh, it's just racing games, I can't make videos on this. Fam, when I came from FIFA, when niggas were literally getting creative about kicking a ball round, and that's all you could do on the game. It wasn't like you could go, like on FIFA, you can't go into free roam. You can't upgrade your characters. I guess you could in Ultimate Team, but you couldn't like do it. Like, you couldn't swap parts on a BRZ. You couldn't pick different cars. You know, the equivalent to that is picking a team, and that's nowhere near the same thing. It's like there's so much creativity to be had in the racing game genre, especially for videos as well. People don't realize, you know.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Like, you can carry on making car builds, but like, fam, there's so much more you can do, and people are blinded. Like, design challenge, perfect example. Stick and twist, perfect example. Undefeated, another example of how you change the normal series to make it's not just races. Undefeated isn't just races. Design challenge isn't just making a livery. It's different, and that's another thing which annoys me with YouTubers. Is it's just so bland. Obviously, not every video can be a design challenge because that's just stupid. That's just outrageous. Like, you ruin the uniqueness behind the series if every video you make is unique. And I think uniqueness is overrated. I don't think it matters too much. I think it's a mix of, you know, your personality, the quality of the content, and all that kind of stuff. I don't think every video needs to be fucking stick and twist nude edition. I don't think that needs to be the case.
Nigga said nude edition.
But like, it's a combination of everything, and I think when you have niggas literally doing car builds, talking about the cars as if it's real life, fam, you're playing a game. Why are you doing a 4-5-8?
You know what? Actually, I'll put my hand up to this. I was doing that and it felt wrong, so I just stopped.
Why are you doing a 4-5-8 review, fam? It's Forza where every car drives extremely similar. Even in Need for Speed, it's like, why are you doing a Huracan review unless you're telling me it's the best car in the game and this is the best setup to run? I get it, but if you're telling me the car's worth 150k and it does 0 to 60 in 4.3 seconds, you're dumb. You're just retarded.
Yeah, no, I never really did that.
You're just retarded.
Whenever I did a build video, it would be on a weird car or a car I didn't like.
I'd mention real life statistics, but I'd never go on about it, like giving you advice.
I mean, I personally don't think there's anything wrong with talking about a car in a real factor, like, especially if it's like a semi-simulator simulator or a simulator. If you're talking about a car, if you're interested in cars and you want to speak about a car,
no, that's not what I'm saying. But when you're doing a full-on review, acting like it's real life, and it's a game. Like
it's real life. Who does that?
Loads. I don't name names.
Name names, because who does that? I don't know who does that.
There is people that do that. Oh fuck! I'll name names. I'm making it sound like it's deep. It's really not. There. EK does it for one. AR12 does it sometimes.
I feel like with AR12.
I get it if you're doing a Assetto Corsa. Like, remember that video I made on Assetto Corsa about the Lotus and the Porsche?
Yeah.
I get it in that context, because A, it's a simulator, and I kind of set that up to be like a Top Gear-esque type video. Right. If you know what I mean? It's like, it's not... It wasn't like I'm going in, I'm making it a drift build, I'm leaving. Like, I edited it in a way where you know, between the transitions there was like a little mini showcase thing, you know, and like it was different. It wasn't like that. But when you're just going onto a car, you're listing off specs and then going off, it's like
Nigga, I tell you what I got, nigga. I got variety. I feel like I'm gonna get cocky here. I feel like that's something.
I just got
recently.
I feel like that's something we've all got though. As a
I've
group.
been uploading about I think max 3 videos a week, and because I've been taking breaks between making videos, I feel like whenever I go back to a video, wherever, like recently I made a couple of GTA videos and it felt so fresh to do it, and it was so rewarding to do it because it just I felt like I stopped making videos at a point. I think there was like a couple of weeks where I just was really slow on it. It was around Christmas, and it was because I'm not saying this is for everyone. Like you're obviously on the different side of the spectrum to me. You can.
I feel similar, and I'm gonna say something after this, but carry on.
But I feel like because I've been taking so much time and leave my videos up for a couple of days and noticing that people actually watch my videos over a certain time. Like I've been getting comments 5 days after upload. I wasn't getting that before because I would upload
really
like every day. Yeah, no, it wouldn't. My videos didn't, like, my views. I will peak at about, on average now, I'm peaking at about 1,000, and that's because I'm uploading. If I feel like if I uploaded every day, it would peak at about 600, because that's what was happening before. Or maybe my channel's growing. I don't know. I've just seen, because I've been uploading less, my basically YouTube has been, for me, felt more rewarding. Is my point.
One thing I was gonna say was, because, you know, I recently got that cracked PS2 and I've been playing different games. It's like now I've got a whole different avenue of things I can do whenever I want, however I want. That adds so much to it. Yeah. The fact I can literally do Initial D, which is in full on Japanese, and that gets more views than Horizon 3.
What is a cracked PS3 PS2 is a cracked PS2 like a modded PS2, like, so it's got games on it?
I buy games.
Right. No. Has it got games on it already? Because I used to have a modded Xbox. Like when
it's got emulators on it now. Not games. You have to do that yourself. I do that legally.
Okay. Because I want to do that. I have a PS2.
It's not expensive. It's like 30 quid overall.
Yeah,
I think cost me.
I want to do all games. I want to do Gran Turismo 3 because I played that.
This is what I'm saying. Obviously, it has issues. Like, I think one of the issues is the cutscenes don't work on most games because you're using a hard drive. If you burn it onto a disc, it works fine. Legally, allegedly.
Allegedly.
But like, it's added like so much. I don't just do. I don't just do current stuff anymore, and I do a lot more vloggy stuff than I used to.
Yeah, you're gonna start doing this on like every scene, innit? And then you'll be in a different
place. Not every, that's cringy. When it's every scene, that's cringy.
Gay shit.
That's cringy.
You're gonna put your webcam down, your camera down, drop it so it goes black, and then pick it back up and you're in a different place. When you get into your car, shut the door, it closes, you're in a different...
Doing it at the end of each video is enough for me. I feel like it works well. I feel like it works well with the drop on the song.
Shout out to my vloggers though. Shout out to the vloggers. Shout out to the Casey Neistats of the car community on the show.
I feel similar to you, like, so I went to Japfest and recorded that, and then the next day there's Drivecast, which is like not even anything car related anymore. Like, it's just on a different level. And then like
we need to rebrand as the cast.
And then showcases and then
drive.
And then commentaries are always going to be what I stay with, because I just vlogs and car like just talking into a camera is always something which I've like, it's always been my main. Like, as we're obviously Jay, you're cinematic, and CJ, you're unique.
That's what I was about to say, CJ. What's your take on all this, like, uploading? Because we are all different in terms of uploading. Like, I think we're 3 different levels. But
I'm a more just I just do what I want to do. Some days I'll feel like uploading this, I'll upload this. Sometimes I feel like uploading, like, I take all these different like styles of video making, I just blend it into one, and I just throw it out there. Like, what I feel like producing that day, I just throw out. Like, I might make, like, it's weird, like, I'll make certain types of videos like one week or something like that, and then my style will just switch like the next week. Like, I'm not very consistent, but I feel like that's a good thing. It keeps things fresh.
Yeah, I don't think I'm consistent either.
Like I am not consistent. Like there'll be videos where I'll edit them pretty good, and there are some videos I don't really edit that much. Like,
see, no,
that's another thing. I don't feel like a lot of like specific videos do need to be edited.
Yeah.
But like a vlog, like the thing I did today when I was like, talking about Midnight Club, is like that doesn't need to be edited.
But
this is what I've been.
For me, like the editing really comes down to like how funny is it without all the special effects and stuff, all the editing. Like for example, my Need for Speed ripoff video, I found that no, it's not that one. My Chef Shit video, which didn't do as well as my other videos, but because it's a video of me playing fucking Restaurant Simulator 2, like I felt like that was a great video, just at face value, with like of course the jump cuts and stuff put in, not the jump cuts but the edits of editing all the shit out. Like I felt like just on its own,
they are jump cuts, by the way.
Well, I just felt like on its own, without like editing and stuff like that, I felt like that was a great video, and that's okay with me. I felt like videos like that, if I were to like upload and put unnecessary like stuff into it, I feel like it would just kind of ruin the video's flow at some points.
Yeah, that's what I've always thought. Because I've been trying to get accustomed to commentary as a whole. I feel like I'm at a point where I understand it now, and I can actually do it at my own pace and that. So I don't find it hard anymore. But what I have been kind of wondering is, how do people want me to edit this? Because I feel like if I'm playing a game like Need for Speed Carbon, or I'm playing a game like let's say Need for Speed 2017, I want to do a Let's Play on that. How do I edit that? Do you want me to cut things out?
Yeah, that's one thing I'm always confused about, especially on launch.
Yeah. Like there'll be times when like I even get this feeling like when I'm like doing a video and I'm watching a cutscene in video, like do I cut that out or do I leave it in?
Right.
Like
on launch, you never do. That's a bad tip I've learned.
Just being silent like that, just I don't know.
Well, okay, so I watched PewDiePie the other day. I don't really watch his gaming videos, but when he does a Let's Play, he doesn't cut it at all. I don't think he cuts it at all. And for some reason I don't feel awkward watching it.
I noticed this with Theo as well. His Let's Plays are a lot longer, like 25 minutes.
And that's another thing. That's another thing with when Need for Speed comes out, for example, I'm not gonna cut any of the cutscenes. I'll fade my face away so it's just the screen, because people don't care about me. They want to look at the screen. Yeah. People come on launch they come for the game, and then you make them stay with your personality.
You know, it's like a sales pitch almost.
Kind of, yeah. But like obviously I'll cut up the gameplay and stuff, like the actual like gameplay and stuff. When it comes into like initial customization, I'll show all the customization options. I'll show, you know, all the new features and stuff. But when it comes to like places where I feel like I can cut it and I'm like not speaking, it's like, why have this in if I don't need to? But when there's like new customization and stuff, I'm always going to be talking about that.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't feel like it depends. The editing definitely depends on video type. And also just how you act. Like for me, if I feel like when I put all the stupid reverb effects and like flanger effects and stuff and like fucking distort my face and shit, I kind of know when I'm recording that I'm gonna put that in the video.
I don't. If I think I look retarded, I put a bulge on my face.
That's like that, but that's that, and that's a bit of a difference of me. Is like I'll say something, I'll be like, "Daddy, please," and I'll be like, I know exactly how I'm gonna edit that. Like I'll just think in my head.
If I feel like if I do that, I'll just feel unnatural, personally.
Really? No, it's not like premeditated. It's like I'll say something, and then it'll be like, oh, I'm gonna edit like that sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's not like Blibby whip. It's not like that. It's like it's more of a case of I'll say something and it will be like.
He's got some with that. You could sell a T-shirt with that on it, then people buy it.
Yeah, he does.
So
I don't know. I just feel like
make one up. Everyone here needs to make a phrase.
I feel like
CJ has autism is already our phrase. We should sell that on a T-shirt.
Well, you're not wrong.
I think actually CJ could sell a T-shirt with just words in like Comic Sans saying autism on it. I feel like he could sell that.
Like, you know, the Supreme thing, just have autism instead. That would sell.
I'd buy it. I'd wear that shit.
Actually sell.
I'd wear that shit.
I feel like, going back on the topic of YouTube though, I feel like I'm at a point where I could just launch OBS, play a game, and just go, and it just flows fine. it just flows perfectly. Like not perfectly, but it flows great. Like just being in that environment, it's as if I'm just playing a game by myself.
I'm confident if I wanted to, I could make a rainbow video and it'd get like alright average views if I titled it well.
I mean, the thing with me is like, if I just have like OBS and all that and Audacity in the background and I just go, I feel natural in my own environment. But if I have like if I have a webcam or a camera pointing at me, it doesn't feel natural. I tend to stutter more. I tend to like tense up more, or just make. I just don't like it.
Yeah, that's one thing you just get used to over time. Because I wasn't very camera like. I didn't like it at the start, but I've been doing it for so long now. It's just whatever.
Thank you. I mean, you don't have to use. I've learned this from YouTube. You don't have, depending on who you are, you don't have to use a face cam.
Critical.
And I feel like I make better content without one because I feel like I'm more natural. I feel like I'm
more.
Yeah,
you don't. And for me, it's opposite. If I make a video about face cam, I feel like it's empty.
Oh yeah, like it was weird. Like I used to do face cam like a lot, but then once I started like not doing face cam, I was still acting as if I had my face cam on. I was doing like stupid stuff, but then I realized, oh shit, they can't see me.
Yeah, so that plays a factor for me because I'm very, when I speak, I think if you've noticed me, I use my hands and stuff for my. So I don't just sit here like so basically. I move around. I'm very I make a lot of gestures and stuff. I get that from my mum. I get that from my mama. But
I'm very gestural as well. That just comes with the autism. That's a perk of the autism. It's just moving around like this. But
I probably have that.
Like it's not like I'm camera shy or anything. I mean, look, I'm talking with you guys right now, but it's just that when I'm making videos, I just don't feel natural of something being pointed at me. If you know what I mean.
That's the thing.
I mean, the video.
I feel like
some videos you kind of need it.
I can fill gaps with it. It makes for a lot more fulsome video for me. But again, like I said, Critical don't do it, and he's on what, like how many 2 million subs?
He's very unique, man. His voice is just different.
Yeah, that's the thing is that's
his voice.
That's kind of like how I want my channel to be.
Pyro didn't for a long time.
Like I kind of want my channel to be like where I want to be able to like play anything and just have a good time with it, and people.
A lot of the COD YouTubers I watched right at the start never did.
See, the difference with Pyro is for me, I feel like the Facecam has improved its content.
No, it has. It has.
It has.
But that doesn't change the fact
he's very personality driven, and I feel like with the kind of contradicts what say Critical. Yeah. I know it's weird.
I mean,
it changes. It depends on person to person.
Yeah, it does. It totally does. It's just, I guess. It's
to an extent, that's what I'm personality based. Like, I can upload a video of me, fucking.
You can upload a video of J.O. cutting a watermelon.
I knew you were gonna go straight to that.
Whoa! It wasn't a watermelon, you fucking racist cunt. It was
it was a pineapple.
Well, I don't even like watermelon.
But what I feel is great is I can upload a video on like legit anything, and people will watch it and enjoy it, which is a great plus for me. Like I upload a video on the YouTube video editor, which I have not seen anyone do.
I watched that. I was
and
fucking idiot.
Can someone explain to me why it's 3 o'clock and it's still 20 degrees outside? That's warmer than it is in Cali. You know it's 17 degrees in Cali.
17 degrees, and that's.
I was gonna open my door then.
How much is that freedom units?
I was gonna open the door.
It's like 80 degrees.
To test the weather. I had to put my arm out, but I realised if I do that and a fucking moth comes in, I'm gonna have a panic. So
17 degrees is 62. How much is it here?
It's 20 outside.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Anyway,
where am I?
It definitely depends from person to person. It definitely does. I feel like, again, videos are very subjective. I feel like as long as you're entertaining, as long as you as long as your video feels wholesome and it feels like there's stuff always happening, and it doesn't have to be like fucking having a stroke being thrown at you, flashing autism effects, but as long as it feels like there's things happening. Yeah. Cool, isn't it?
Like that's something like something like that can add or it can take away from the video. Like I feel like I have the very really like in Windows Movie Maker the transitions that are like the star effects and stuff like that. Like I like ironically putting those in like when I'm transitioning, and I feel like it adds to the video. But if I just overly did that, it would take away from the video.
I used to use Movie Maker for my videos on our.
I used to as well. Good old in my Lego stop animation.
I don't know how long ago I did, but I did. I've used all of the editing software.
I
Vegas,
remember the
Final
first time.
Cut,
I remember
Premiere.
first time I
AVC?
First time I ever used Windows Movie Maker, I remember Roller Coaster Tycoon 3 had a thing in game where you could save clips from Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, and it saved them to like your documents. So I remember I was like 8, 7. It was like 2 in the morning. I shouldn't have been up. I was on Windows Movie. I loaded up Windows Movie Maker. I'm gonna try this. I just plopped all of the clips together and made a video of it, and it's just like an hour long.
Not like you were doing
video.
that when you were 8 though. Like you
yeah, but it was legit. Just
I wouldn't
an
have.
hour
I
long.
wouldn't even understood.
I was doing
all
similar shit.
thought.
I
similar
remember.
shit.
I remember. Like, early 2014, I still used Windows Movie Maker.
When I was 8, bro, I was playing with Hot Wheel cars. What the fuck?
Oh yeah, I was till I was like 13, but you know.
Yeah, a bit like you not have a laptop or like a computer. No, I'm talking to Jay. Yeah, I'm talking to
I
Jay.
didn't have a laptop. No, I had a. There was a computer.
I guess that's
computer.
I guess that's the difference between me and you. Is you had a PS2, I had a PC.
I had a PC growing up.
I had a PS2, Xbox original, PSP, DS.
PSP, mine doesn't turn on.
I had an Xbox 360, and I stopped with PlayStation after the PS2, and I kind of just stayed on Xbox until
See,
now.
because I had a PC, I got a Game Boy, a PSP, and then I got the PS3, and then I bought myself a 360 like 2013, 14. And then obviously I bought everything else afterwards when I could.
See, I never actually play games on PC. Growing up.
Until recently.
The only reason I did is because
I still really don't know.
The only reason I did when I was growing up is because my dad had a PC and he used to work from home every now and then, but he never really used it, so it was just kind of there in a room. And I was like, and he just got me Underground. He got me Hop Shoot 2, Underground 1, and Underground 2, and I was like obviously over the years, and I was just like, oh, this is sick.
I remember back in like I got my first, like, my dad just gave me his old computer when I was like 3, and then had Need for Speed 2 on there, but it was in the kitchen, it was in the dining room.
Yes.
And
even while I'm playing,
I remember like if I finished my dinner early while we were eating, I'd go on there, and I remember I finished my dinner early and they were still eating, so I went on my computer, which is like right near the table, and I loaded up Need for Speed Underground. My dad goes over, is like, how do you race in the daytime in this? And I'm like, I don't know.
CJ, do you remember when this setup used to be in my dining room?
Oh, that was a long time.
That was the crew beta days.
That was back in the day. That's
manage.
back in the day when you'd have KFC every Friday. You fat
mate. We still have takeout every Friday. I had a kebab today, but that's possible.
How? Well, wait, hold on.
It was KFC nonstop every Friday.
How did you masturbate?
In my room.
With what?
Laptop.
No, I was about to say, no, he loads up,
phone.
he sees this is what he did. He sees no one's looking, takes out his camera, like one of those cameras you have to get developed at the pharmacy. He takes a snapshot of it, runs over to the pharmacy, gets it developed for 24 hours, comes back, that does it.
Wanks off the developed fucking pictures, yes. Of porn on the computer screen.
Fam, I was in my dining room, not in 1972. Calm down, please.
No, I'm talking about the ones that you got for like $5 at the pharmacy.
Why so far back, bro? People use.
That's when Polaroids were. 1970, yeah, that's when Polaroids were popular.
Yeah, I don't know how I made videos in my dining room. That was fucking awful. I remember that. I have vivid memories of that. Like, I just remember like getting interrupted halfway through a commentary, and I was just like, "What are you doing? I'm gonna fucking kill you!" Like, I had to record. I still did it daily as well, so I had to. There was always a specific time when no one came in each day, and I had to do it then. Otherwise, it was just game over.
May I just ask? I'm just loading up this one video, Forza Horizon 2 full map reveal. I don't think
was
your
that
face
in
cam
there?
one. That was 2014. Nah, your face isn't in that one.
I don't think I didn't have face cam till like 2015 ish.
I remember, and you looked like you were 10 as well.
That's the beauty of having a room that's completely downstairs.
Hey,
I don't have to worry about
niggers. Hopefully when I move, my room will be in the basement with my own shower. So
Own shower, you know.
I
Too
said
bad.
basement and own shower in the same sentence. Yo, you're going down a dark route if you got a basement and then your own shower, like in your
Too bad
basement. You ain't
Oh no,
leaving.
we were
Too
looking
bad
at a house.
Too bad he's not
No,
going to
hold
use
on.
it anyway
We were
because it's
looking
clean.
We were looking at a house that in the basement had its own kitchen with a fridge and a stove and a room and a shower, full-blown like bathroom.
That's
It's
like-
like a horror film, bro. You like, it's like,
No, it was finished. It wasn't like it was like a finished basement. It was like this.
oh, okay.
Like a lot of houses here, their basements are like full scale. They might be they're like this. They're not like they're dungeons or anything. So,
Right,
although we do have a dungeon in my house. It's the crawl space.
Do we want to
But
go
that-
on to the Q&A questions?
I think we should.
This has been a long one. Have a guess how long this has been?
Just over 2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours and 15 minutes.
I was right.
Whoa, mama, this is a long one. Right.
Shout out to you if you've been watching throughout.
Yeah, if you've been watching this long, type in the comments, oh mama.
Shout out to
O spell O-H, mama spell M-A-M-A.
Shout out to
Oh,
the
mama.
shout out to the man from Japan. You're cool. You're cool.
Select your one via from Akagi White Comet Weeb.
What?
What?
Salati or the one via. You don't know what the one via is, do you?
No.
I do.
Salati.
I do. I'm just gonna reinforce my remembrance of
The
it.
one VR is just the Silati swapped around, basically.
No. It's
Yes.
the S13. Isn't it swapped?
Yeah.
Not the Salati. The Salati is different.
The Silati is the S13, and then the.
You're thinking of the
one-
240SX front on S.
Hold up. Can you spell that?
Oh no, it is. I'm getting confused. Sorry, my bad.
Can you spell that?
No. Just
One VR. One VR, bro.
This is
One
the only
VR.
comment. This is the only comment we've got on this week's Q&A question.
Oh,
These
you guys are
Q&A
lacking.
No, you guys are lacking on these Q&A questions. Pump your fucking game and don't just
Let me
give
just
us.
load up my Puppet account and ask some questions.
And please, just don't give us a this or this question. I obviously appreciate questions that are asked, but asking us, do you prefer this or this, are pretty boring. Give us some roleplay scenarios, boy. Give us something interesting. Give us like some zombie
Don't give
survival
us roleplay
questions.
Scenarios,
Give
man.
us-
This
give
isn't
us-
fucking
give us
a
some-
pantomime.
Give us some zombie survival questions or some shit. Get creative.
Yeah, man. Those questions the zombie survival thing is always fun.
Some creative shit. Don't do zombie survival now. I said it. Think of something new.
Ask me out on my
Alien
dick.
survival. A bunch of Theo's clones came from the planet Zorgon.
No, like
and
if I got a
attacked
question,
us.
if I got a question of like, would I have sex with a planet Zorgon alien, and that was on the podcast, that would
You
be a
already
good question.
have. You already have.
You haven't had sex at all, so shut up.
I'm under NDA. I can't say that.
Right, are we done?
Bully, bully.
Shut the fuck up. Oh, you do your Q&A jingle. You're a fucking cunt.
Q&A.
Shut the fuck up. Nobody even wants you here. If you guys enjoyed episode Drivecast, make sure to go ahead and hit the like. So I'll see you guys in the next one. You guys have an awesome day. And peace.
Why did you get? You didn't mean to do that, did you? What?
Well, God.